Basketball is a game of emotions. From riding the crests of the highs to absorbing the pains of the lows, where ultimate success is directly attributed to control.
To me, emotional stability, goes hand in hand with championship basketball.
The emotional stability of the Knicks rests squarely on Patrick Ewing's shoulders. But in Game 3, it was a dismal performance. 1 point, perhaps the lowest point in his career. Without his leadership, the Knicks became unglued. Their confidence, once so high, now badly shaken. An emotional letdown, a moment they would like to forget. An emotional trip home ignited the Pacers. The consequences of a third straight loss would have seemed insurmountable. But adversity seemed to be the catalyst that inspired their play. Now in the victory, but emotions can change quickly. The emotions that could decide a championship.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1994 NBA playoffs. Today, Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers.
It has been a glorious sports weekend here in Indianapolis, Indiana. The 78th running of the Indianapolis 500 yesterday, and the Indiana Pacers still playing basketball on this Memorial Day weekend. Some sardonic humor on the part. The deepest the Pacers have gone in the NBA playoffs, and their fans have responded. Once again, a stirred-up capacity crowd turning out at Market Square Arena as we get set for game number 4 in this best-of-7 Eastern Conference Final. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Matt Dukas. And Matt, the Pacers certainly got back into this series with their play on Saturday in game number 3, sparked by two guys who had been quiet. In fact, questions were being asked of Derek McKee and Haywood Workman, but both were able to emerge in game 3.
Well, Marv, a lot of people felt that Saturday's game 3 deserved to have a big paper bag put over it, but to Larry Brown, it was a thing of beauty. And two non-contributors in the first 2 games came to life in Indiana. Derek McKee not only played a solid all-round game, his 15 points led a balanced scoring attack. And Haywood Workman broke out of a slump with 12 points and 7 assists and set the defensive tone for Indiana. And if the Pacers are to even up this series, they're going to have to get more of the same from Derek McKee and Haywood Workman.
And for the New York Knicks, game 3 was a disaster. An NBA playoff record low, 68 points. They shot only 34%. They missed 18 free throws. They committed 21 turnovers. They were out-rebounded 46-30. Indiana plus 16 in that department. And Patrick Ewing, an astounding 0 for 10, only 1 point, said after the game, "They pay me to be the hero. They pay me to be the GOAT." It was not a pleasant afternoon for Patrick Ewing.
Well, Patrick Ewing seemed to be able to score at will in the first 2 games. Now, after the debacle of game 3, what does Patrick have to do to get back on track? First of all, he's got to work harder for inside position. He's got to wait for the double team some and make the easy pass out. And his teammates have to create some opportunities for him. Marv, I got to think Patrick Ewing cannot wait for this game to start.
All right, and for more now on the Knicks and the Pacers, we go to the Dean of Sideline Reporting, the godfather to my children, Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Marv. For the Pacers, there is one very important injury. As you can see here, Byron Scott took a nasty fall on Saturday and hurt his pelvic bone. It was diagnosed as a bruised pelvic bone. He didn't practice yesterday. He got here about an hour and a half early before the game, put some ice on it. He'll be wearing a protective pad, and he says he is available to play. As far as the Knicks are concerned, there are no injuries other than the injury to Patrick Ewing's bride. He was so upset on Saturday by the way he shot. He wanted to try to find a gym Saturday night and shoot. Well, he will not have to wait long because he'll be able to shoot here momentarily. Here's Marv.
All right, Ahmad, we are moments away from Game 4. The Pacers hoping that 7'4" Rick Smits continues his strong play. Over the first 3 games he has played Patrick Ewing to a standstill.
Meaningful luxury in the all-new Mitsubishi Galant means extraordinary attention to safety and security.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Standard dual airbags, available anti-lock brakes, height-adjustable front shoulder belts, tubular steel side impact beams, crumple zones front and rear, safety and security in the all-new Galant. From Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
These days, it takes an extra special driver to maintain a top-notch driving record. But it does have its rewards. Because if you insure your car with Allstate and have an excellent driving record, you may qualify for a preferred driver discount of up to 15%. So, before you get too far down the road, whoa! Ask your Allstate agent if an Allstate preferred driver discount can save you money. You're in good.
Is baseball or bass fishing?
Baseball. Bass fishing.
Hey, guys, watch this.
Miller Lite presents professional baseball. Watson calls for a fresh bass. There's the windup and the fish. It's a high fly bass. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
To you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? By Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline. And by the all-new Mitsubishi Galant, filled with your favorite things.
Welcome back to Market Square Arena. It has been a clear-cut pattern for both the Knicks and the Pacers during the playoffs. The Knicks have won only 1 out of 6 on the road during the playoffs, and the Pacers at home 5-0. Let's check out the starting lineups for the Knicks. John Starks and Derek Harper both very quiet in Game 3 here on Saturday. And the same can be said for Patrick Ewing and Charles Smith. They're up front along with Charles Oakley. Knicks head coach Pat Riley, who says it was not only Patrick Ewing's 0 for 10 performance in Game 3, it was the lack of support from his teammates that cost the Knicks in that horrendous showing here on Saturday. A look at the Pacers. Hayward Workman, who bounced back with a good one on Saturday. Reggie Miller in foul trouble, but showed some signs with the outside shot. Rick Smits had another solid game, as did Derek McKee. For the first time this series, he came out in very aggressive fashion. And Dale Davis at the other forward position. And there's Indiana Pacers coach Larry Brown, who said he took his players' advice, changing the defensive strategy against Patrick Ewing, going to more double teams. And we'll see more of that here today. A look at the officials. Hugh Evans, Bennett Salvatore, and Hugh Hollins. Now, Hugh Hollins handling his first Knicks game since that controversial call made against Scottie Pippen in Game 5 of the Knicks-Chicago series at Madison Square Garden, sending Hubert Davis to the free throw line, and turned out to be the game-winning shots.
Well, both teams have to approach this game and not worry at all about the officials. There's probably been a little bit of too much of that going on as far as the Knicks concerned. New York has to answer the call now. They've been challenged by the Pacers with that aggressive defense. New York has to match it in kind.
And Rick Smits controls the opening tip. Hayward Workman, played by Derek Harper. And they go right to Derek McKee, who this time draws the double team. Shot clock down to 5. McKee for Smits. Rebounded by Ewing. And Starks pops it down to Smith. Charles Smith. The Knicks with a 2-0 lead.
A good way to start for New York. Patrick Ewing getting the defensive rebound and starting the fast break. It certainly wasn't a clean one, but for New York, they'll take any kind of open court play they can get.
Reggie Miller came off the screen. And Rays tied the game.
An outstanding screen set by Dale Davis, and Charles Oakley, who normally does such a good job of showing on that, just got whipped by Reggie Miller.
Double team on Ewing. Well, Patrick Ewing's first shot way off. Here's Miller, and he was blocked. Foul by John Starks.
Patrick Ewing setting up and not even waiting for double teams, spinning away from it and forcing the shot. And probably not the best thing for Patrick to do in this particular setting, because he's still thinking about that 0 for 10. There's no way that he could, and that's all that's been talked about and all that's been written about. Probably should wait for a double team, get somebody else an easy shot to open things up.
We're talking about what Patrick Ewing's philosophy might be in the early going. We chatted with Pat Riley before, and he is not looking for Ewing to go out and get those points early. He'd rather see him distribute the ball and get everyone else involved.
And really make his presence felt defensively. That's where he can help his ball club the most, shutting down the Pacers and staying in the ballgame, which is really something the Knicks did till about the 2:44 mark of the third period. As poorly as they played in Game 3, they were still in the hunt at that point.
Indiana with a 4-2 lead, just underway. Market Square Arena. Here's Starks. He's been off. Has not been hitting the jump shot. Ewing. Patrick Ewing has missed his first 2 shots. Reggie Miller. And Charles Smith with the save.
Another good screen, this time by Derek McKee, setting up Miller, who really thought that was in the well as he was backtracking on defense.
Derek Hopper. And back comes Miller. Putting the move on Starks. Derek Hopper sets up John Starks. Well, the Knicks shooting actually mirroring what happened in the fourth quarter on Saturday. Here's Starks now, racing down, goes to a most unusual finger roll. He was very aware of Rick Smits trailing the play, and the Knicks get it back on the turnover. The Knicks 1 for 7 here at the start.
Oh, both teams are just rushing everything at the offensive end. It's like they never know when they're going to get a good shot. John Starks didn't realize how good a position he had inside as Pat Riley not only upset with the shot, but then John Starks was slow getting back.
Hopper blocked the shot. Ewing takes it. 0 for 3 for Ewing. Smith missed the tip. Knicks are 1 for 9. Indiana only 1 for 5. And a blocking foul called on Smith.
Well, on both of Patrick Ewing's jump shot, he has faded away, falling back, and that is not an aggressive shot, as he is working for the position. Patrick Ewing going to get one over here and fade away. Watch him lean back, as of course he has to respect the long arm of Rick Smits, but Patrick Ewing probably going to be better off at getting some things off the offensive board and driving it to the basket. He is obviously thinking about the shot right now.
And ironically, he hit his last 7 shots against Indiana back in Game 2. Since then, though, he's missed 13 in a row. Workman got the step, and it knocked away by Smith. Knicks have missed their last 8 field goal attempts. Hopper tries and hits the 3.
A good-looking, clean, fast break for the Knicks this time, as Harper spotting up in the corner. Good feed by John Starks, as the Knicks have to be very happy with their offensive transition game right now.
5-4 Knicks. Smith's working hard. It counts. And a foul on Ewing.
Well, Patrick Ewing got into early foul trouble in Game 3. He wants to take that baseline move away from Smits, forcing him to his offhand, the left hand, as it was a non-shooting foul. Referee ruled that he was hit while he was on the floor.
So the basket does not count. Workman off the mark on the inbounds. And here comes Starks. Oakley missed the stop. And a foul is called against Indiana. Derek McKee collecting his first, and Charles Oakley will go to the line.
Well, another running opportunity for the Knicks as the Pacers doing a very poor job of getting back in transition, mainly because Haywood Workman is getting caught below the free throw line extended. Reggie Miller not able to get back and stop anything. It's just Knicks had a couple of fast break conversions, but that should have been the one that went down.
Charles Oakley, playing through a bruised foot injury, would not even miss practice. He's a guy who just refuses to sit out. And Charles Oakley with his first point of the game. The Knicks had a very poor time at the foul line in game 3. They have been shaky at the line. They have a 6-4 lead. Reggie Miller to the fadeaway. Good box out by Oakley. And gamble pass thrown away. He thought he had Starks breaking, and he gambled. Miller facing a double team. There's McKee. And Ewing with the rebound, and both clubs struggling here at the start. You know, you think coming off the game such as we saw on, there's Ewing with his first field goal. Coming off the type of game that we saw on Saturday, that things would be different, but both teams shooting poorly here at the start.
Except for the Harper jump shot and Charles Smith, all the other jumpers, even by Reggie Miller, looked rushed and forced, and everybody trying to do too much too soon and not really relaxing into this ballgame, if there is such a thing in the playoff setting.
Dale Davis with a nice move. The Knicks 8 and the Pacers 6. 5 minutes gone by. Open shot for Harper, again passed up. Charles Smith not able to hit. Rebound Patrick Ewing.
And that's what I meant at the beginning, Marv, of when Patrick Ewing gets the double team, just take it, make the easy pass out, and you have good ball rotation and a good percentage shot. And now Patrick Ewing can get back in on the offensive board as he did that time.
Second field goal by Ewing. He's 2 out of 5. He's given the Knicks a 10-6 lead.
All attention on Charles Oakley as he has good post position, enables Patrick Ewing to get in for the easy tip in. And now he busies himself on the offensive board on the jump shot as Rick Smith fails to make contact. Another easy one for Patrick Ewing, but at this point, he'll take him anytime, any way he can get him.
6:45 remaining in the first.
Dream Team 2, coming this summer
on NBC.
As your engine revs higher, the oil inside creates a hydrodynamic wedge, a protective layer that builds up and keeps engine parts separated. But as your oil's viscosity breaks down, so can the wedge. That's why Castrol GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your viscosity breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars. Now get a free official licensed NB a case of Castrol GTX.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
The 1995 Mitsubishi Galant, filled with thoughtful details.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Lease a new Galant S for just $1,250 down and $199 a month for 36 months.
These are a few of my favorite things.
The affordable Galant S lease, perhaps the most favorite thing of all.
This is Dave. Dave is trying to have an extreme summer. But Dave doesn't have to do all that. All Dave has to do is this. Extreme nachos, new from Taco Bell. With red chips to dip in our dish. Beans, tomato, sour cream with guacamole and wild sauce. So, for an extreme summer, dip like this. Don't dip like Dave. Cross the border, man.
This is a Goodyear AquaTread with a 60,000-mile warranty, and this is a bucket of water. At highway speeds, Goodyear AquaTread pumps away over a gallon of water every second, thanks to its Deep Groove Aqua Channel. Over a gallon a second, that's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it, the next time it's pouring buckets. The all-season AquaTread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Well, Patrick Ewing attempting to bounce back from the 0 for 10 here on Saturday. Only 1 point for Ewing thus far today. 2 out of 5, 4 points, 5 rebounds. We talked about Ewing's Game 3 performance with Knicks coach Pat Riley.
He was just totally, never really into the flow. Got in foul, had a bad first quarter, so got in foul trouble. Got his 4th a minute into the second half, and was just. And we were out of it as a team. I've seen that happen to great players before. So he's going to be stronger today. He's going to get the ball in better position. But I don't want him to think that he's got to come back so strong that he's got to get 35 or 40, rectified this whole thing, and take that many shots. So I'd much rather see 16 points, 20 rebounds, and 8 assists. I think that would get us a win today.
Well, the Pacers coming out of that timeout with a very poor execution. Nobody looks sure of what they want to do, and the Knicks have them confused right now at the Pacer offensive end.
The Knicks with a 10-6 lead, a bad pass. Ewing with a gamble over-the-head pass for one of the cutters, and very fortunate that it was last touched by the Pacers.
But the good thing was, from the Knicks point of view, is that Patrick Ewing is looking for the cutter and looking to make that pass out of the double and not trying to force things. So that's a good sign for New York.
7 on the shot clock, 6 minutes to go. In this first quarter, Starks has to rush the 3, and the rebound is handled by Dale Davis. Indiana only 2 for 10 from the floor. Rick Smits, good catch and a nice turnaround.
Now that was good execution on the part of Indiana. Started on the left side of the floor, moved it all the way to the right, and Smits covered up Ewing with excellent inside position. I'm sure the Pacers wouldn't mind getting another foul on that.
And the poor Knicks shooting continues. The Knicks 10, the Pacers 8. Knicks are now 4 of 16 from the field. And Miller tripped up by Starks for Starks' second foul.
Well, the best way to post up your big man is to do a little misdirection. They started left side, brought it down to the right, and actually Rick Smits caught that ball with both feet in the paint, and there's really not much Patrick Ewing or anybody else can do to prevent a shot from a 7'4" player as agile as Rick Smits has been in this particular series. Patrick Ewing not only has to play good team defense, but first of all, he's got to stop Rick Smits before they keep going into him to try to get him into foul trouble.
Hubert Davis has replaced John Starks. Starks sits down with 2 fouls and 0 for 4 from the field. Good play, ball knocked away from Smits. And Davis gives it right back. He tried to go 1-on-2. McKee looking for Smits. And Smits to the turnaround. Rebounded by Ewing. Here's Charles Smith. McKee beating Davis. And he's tied the game at 10.
Well, what a turnaround from Game 3 when New York just getting 10 fast breaks on Saturday. Indiana 9. Both teams are just running wild. Almost looks like a Western Conference game.
Hoffer lost it off his foot.
Derek McKee on a run out after a mishandle at the other end by New York, beating the New York Knicks transition defense, as both teams getting more fast breaks than they could have even imagined coming in.
Coming up on 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Smits beating Ewing. Rick Smits could not convert. Ewing from outside. Well, Patrick Ewing has to feel good about that shot. He is an excellent jump shooter. And Patrick Ewing showing signs. Now 3 of 6 from the field. Knicks lead 12-10. Antonio Davis getting set to check in for Indiana. Double team on Miller. Here's Smits. Rick Smits with a beautiful shot once again. And the game is tied at 12. Hopper. Change of pace dribble by Hopper. Nice move, and he drew the foul. It's called on Workman. Anthony Mason Checking in along with Vern Fleming, Antonio Davis.
It says dog pound on the side of his head. Anthony changes that from haircut to haircut, sometimes New York, and there it is on the blackboard in the Knicks locker room before, the Indiana locker room before the game, as both teams kind of call their backup people on the bench the dog pound.
Mason is fouled. Anthony Mason will go to the line. Foul called on McKee.
Well, in a 20-point loss on Saturday, at Riley and a number of other teams, they keep a plus-minus, almost like an ice hockey stat of each individual player when you're on the floor as to what the other team scores or doesn't score while you're on the floor. Anthony Mason, the only plus player for New York, and a +3, and there's something to be said for that in a 20-point loss.
As to the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, Anthony Mason was not getting the kind of playing time that he has received here, and he has improved his play, averaging better than 9 points per game. Sam Mitchell has checked in. Eric McKee sitting down. Leads with a field goal for 2. Now the veteran Vern Fleming now handling against Hubert Davis. This is Mitchell, played by Mason. With just under 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Fleming gets inside. And the rebound one-handed by Oakley. Hopper and Davis in the backcourt. Ewing, Mason, and Oakley up front. That was intended for Ewing, but broken up on a double team. The defense by the Pacers. And a pushing foul. Charge to Hopper.
Well, it's interesting. Sam Mitchell was the Indiana Pacer who broke that play up as Antonio Davis was fronting Patrick Ewing. Larry Brown likes to have Mitchell in there against Mason because of the toughness factor.
The all-new Galant brings thoughtful details to every corner of its cabin.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Twin cup holders for driver and passenger. Extra storage under the armrest. A rear seat that folds down.
Brown paper packages tied up with...
Even the trunk has a trunk in the all-new Galant. From Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Getting through college can be a pretty tough climb. To succeed, you need money and you need the right abilities. You can find them both in the Army. If you qualify, you could earn up to $30,000 with the Montgomery GI Bill, plus the Army College Fund. And you could develop the confidence, judgment, and self-discipline it takes to make it to the top, in college and beyond.
1977, butterfly collar. Walk outside with that on in San Antonio, now you'll burn up. Super Joyce, tell us about that figure roll from the free throw line.
You know, that was my patented. That was my patented shot. One thing I could do was finger roll.
You brought it down.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Miller Lite presents Full Contact Golf. Yes, this summer it's not just a sport, it's a free t-shirt. The Full Contact Golf t-shirt. Just look for specially marked packages of Miller Lite at your favorite store. Find this can and win instantly. There are over 500,000 t-shirts to be won.
Cool. Hey, cool shirt. Hey, thanks.
The Full Contact Golf t-shirt coming into full contact with you. Only from Miller Lite.
Hey, great shirt.
Great beer. Can your beer do this? John Elway, Dan Quayle, and over 60 golfing celebrities tee off when Michael Jordan hosts his RMCC Celebrity Golf Classic, June 11th and 12th on NBC.
Saturday afternoon here in Indianapolis, the Pacers beat the Knicks 88-68. The 68 points, a record NBA playoff low since the inception of the 24-second clock. Indiana Pacers with 69 points in the second round against Atlanta. But take a look at what happened the very next game with Indiana, Golden State, and Seattle, who had those, at one time, record playoff lows. Indiana came back although back home to beat Atlanta. And the other clubs also won their next game for what that is worth. But here are the Knicks and the Pacers opening up the first quarter in Game 4 in similar fashion to what we saw throughout the second half in Game 3.
Well, a lot of scoring opportunities, but obviously the ball not going through the hole with the score all tied up at 14.
Both teams shooting poorly, as you can see. The Knicks 5 of 18, Indiana 5 of 16. Illegal defense called for the first time against the Pacers, so that is the warning. Sam Mitchell taking exception to that call. Sam Mitchell, in his 5th NBA season out of Mercer in Macon, Georgia, came to Indiana from the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Chuck Person, Michael Williams, Pooh Richardson deal. And receiving the early playing time here today in that matchup with Anthony Mason. Ewing now working against Antonio Davis and deflected out by Mitchell.
Well, the Indiana Pacers coaching staff does not want to see Anthony Mason coming to the ballgame. He has been an effective player for the Knicks, and right there he kept that ball alive to get another possession for New York.
Ewing with the drop step. Rejected. Rejected by Dale Davis. Fleming behind the back. Fleming not able to convert. And a foul is called, a loose ball foul on Mitchell of Indiana.
Well, Patrick Ewing making a strong definitive move into the post, and Dale Davis with those very, very long arms. He's 6'11" with extra long arms, which makes him almost like 7'1", and he got up there and took that one out of there, as I'm sure Patrick Ewing didn't expect that.
Patrick Ewing now getting a rest. The one-time Indiana Pacer Herb Williams has come on. The Knicks have hit only one of the last 7 shots. The folks, we're tied at 14. Here we go again with 1:40 remaining in the first quarter. The shooting has been awful, and a foul is called as Oakley was hit down. Foul committed by Dale Davis.
Good ball movement by the Knicks as Herb Williams finds the cutting Charles Oakley, who is always around the basket. Also, Larry Brown was telling me that also he does not want Dale Davis leaving Charles Oakley only on situations where you just have to cover the basket. They are so concerned with Charles Oakley's offensive rebounding ability.
Charles Oakley, an all-star for the first time in his career. He is only 1 of 3 from the line here this afternoon. Rick Smits returns, replacing Dale Davis. Rick Anthony checks in for the first time. And Derek Hopper departs. Hopper hit a 3. He was 1 for 3 from the field. 1:36 remaining in the quarter. And the Knicks now lead 15-14. Anthony with some pressure against Fleming. Bert Fleming got the step on Greg Anthony. Anthony and Davis in the backcourt. Oakley, Mason, and Williams up front. Herb Williams has only lost his balance. Illegal defense called for the second time, and a technical foul awarded to the Knicks. So with 1:10 remaining in this opening quarter, Hubert Davis to the line. And the Knicks now lead by 2.
Keep an eye on Reggie Miller right here. If his man is up in this area above the top of the above this free throw line instead of only allowed down for a 2.9. He's okay right there, but obviously the quick 2.9 call on Reggie Miller.
Mason draws the double coverage. Mason beats Mitchell, and then met by Smits, and a foul call. Rick Smits helping out on the double team after Mason with the dribble was able to get around Mitchell, and Smits right here picks up his first.
Anthony has been so effective, not only posting up, but on the offensive boards and getting to the free throw line. 14 for 18 coming into the ballgame and shooting them well and keeping balls alive.
Well, the Knicks are up 18-14 with just under 1 minute left in this first quarter. Game 4, the best of 7, Game 5, Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden in New York, where the Pacers have dropped 11 straight to the Knicks, 31 of the last 33. Now made by Davis. That streak dates back to January of 1983. The Indiana Pacers have had big problems at the guard. John Starks went out early after picking up his second foul. We have been discussing the fact that John is first to admit it, just not the same coming back from the arthroscopic knee surgery. 0 for 4 here today, and the shooting has been off. 7 for 27 from the field in this series for Starks, although he has done a nice job defensively against Reggie Miller.
And he's getting a lot of credit from the Pacer organization for playing that kind of defense. Reggie has not been going to the free throw line as much as he normally does. The numbers are not that different. It's about 6 a game during the regular season. He's about 4.5 now. But he's not flopping and falling as much as he does in the regular season.
The Knicks in possession. They have a 3-point lead. Half-minute left. First quarter. Mason, he had Mitchell in the air. Draws the foul. Sam Mitchell called for his second.
Larry Brown really not sure right now what he's going to have to do to try to stop Anthony Mason. The reason he has Mitchell in there, he feels he's got more toughness than Kenny Williams. He's certainly got a stronger body, although in Game 3, Kenny Williams is an effective player for Indiana. But it appears that the Pacers were going to have to come down and double-team Mason on his catch in the post.
It has been a roller coaster season for Anthony Mason, who is such an important part of this club. Injury hit, suspended for 3 games right at the end of the year for conduct detrimental to the team, and then at the last moment placed on the playoff roster. And Pat Riley says it was touch and go right up to deadline time.
He's such an important player because he can do so many things. He's an extra ball handler, which helps against pressure defense.
Here's Mitchell. Smith keeps it alive. One hook from deep by Rick Smith. Final seconds, first quarter. Anthony unleashing after 1. It's the Knicks 20 and the Pacers 17. So another low-scoring quarter. Neither club shooting well. The Knicks by 3 after 1.
Well, as I was saying, I'll bring the cold drafts, and you just bring those beautiful eyes of yours.
Yeah. Could you hold on?
When cold filtered isn't cool enough.
Hi, it's your shot.
Ice draft.
I've got to go.
Susan?
It's ice brewed below freezing, then cold filtered. For a smoother, better draft, taste the future. Ice draft. Only from Budweiser. How do you get a clean shave from a dirty razor? You don't. That's why the Schick ST has a one-push cleaning bar. Clean razor, clean shave. The ST from Schick. We're changing the face of shaving.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
The 1995 Mitsubishi Galant, filled with thoughtful details.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Lease a new Galant S for just $1,250 down and $199 a month for 36 months.
These are a few of my favorite things.
The affordable Galant S lease, perhaps the most favorite thing of all.
At the end of the day, more top mechanics in America choose One Motor Oil over any other brand to help keep their own cars running longer. Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline.
Falling in love again. What am I to do? Whenever I see you, I can't help it. In love again. Oh, what am I to do?
At Pizza Hut, now that any medium specialty pizza is only $7.99 and any second medium just $5, it's a great time to fall in love again. With Pizza Hut, you can't help it.
Ahmad Rashad back at Market Square Arena here in Indiana. Now, there is, I've been looking around. I've found a little bit more trivia for you, Marv. Now, the highest ticket prices in the NBA are at Madison Square Garden. They average about $39 per ticket. Here in Indianapolis, they have the lowest average ticket price. It's about $20. But now for the real true fan, they have a spot up here that you can buy a ticket for about $10. The only problem is you got to be careful for that low-flying aircraft. Can you see from here?
Yeah, I can see fine.
Well, this is the spot to watch the game, way up here, if you have binoculars. Marv?
All right, Ahmad. Might be nice if Ahmad stays up there for a while, gets a feel of the game from up top, and then he'll appreciate his usual fine courtside seat even more so. Second quarter underway. Knicks by 3. How about the shooting of the first quarter? The Knicks 5 of 21. Indiana 6 for 20. Beautiful move by Smits. Rebounded by Antonio Davis. Gets it out to Byron Scott, who just checked in. Here's Scott. Yes. Byron Scott, a question mark because of a bruised pelvic bone. Suffered in a collision with Charles Oakley in the game. Scott comes out firing.
And he's moving gingerly. And maybe that's what it's going to take for somebody to start making some field goals right now. Obviously, the defense is tough, but really the shooting is just terrible.
Knicks by 1. Nice job by Mitchell fronting Mason. Davis for 3. Shot clock running down. He had to pop it out. Here's Oakley. Rejected. Rejected by Antonio Davis. Recovered by Anthony. Oh, he hit.
Typical New York hustle, jigging loose balls out as Charles Oakley really not aware of where he was. Just flipped this up. Antonio Davis lying in wait for that. But Greg Anthony digs that loose ball out, tries to hit Oakley, hits him right on the forehead and out of bounds. So, you know, Pat Riley sees his team missing a lot of shots. He is happy with those effort plays, as Larry Brown is also happy with the fact that ball went off Oakley's head.
Fleming moving down against Hubert Davis. Fleming and Scott at the guards. Smits, Mitchell, and Antonio Davis up front. Minute and a half in, second quarter. Here's Fleming, got the step. And he was pushed from behind. Vern Fleming doing it off the dribble. Here's Patrick Ewing checking back, and Herb Williams called for the foul on Fleming.
Vern has been getting to the basket time and time again since he's come off the bench, and Herb Williams really not doing the defensive job there. He has to step up to that dotted line, the launching pad area, to either challenge that shot or take the charge. But quick moves by Vern Fleming are getting into the hoop.
Vern Fleming in his 9 previous seasons with the Pacers. Take a look at the longevity with a current team. He trails only Parrish, Eatonworthy, and Drexler in that department. Vern had never played as late as Memorial Day weekend. He had figured he was making plans for a summer vacation trip to Aruba with his wife for late in May. Well, he had to scratch that. Luckily for Vern, he had taken out insurance in the event the Pacers did make the Eastern Conference Finals, so he lost only $100 when he had to cancel that trip. But Vern said he is very superstitious. Illegal defense called for the 3rd time, so Fleming made new plans to visit Aruba right in the middle of the NBA Finals, and he says he hopes he has to cancel once again. He made those reservations purely for superstitious purposes. Technical foul awarded. Hubert Davis not able to hit this one.
Sam Mitchell is going to be the culprit here as he is below that dotted line again. Knicks Pacers trying to be very aggressive when they come to double team, but you see Sam Mitchell crossing the center line, which is an illegal defense.
The Knicks have missed their last 6 shots. 5 of 24, shooting 21%. To this point, so much for the extra shooting at practice yesterday. Ewing fouled on the play. Rick Smits called for his second.
And Patrick just off the bench trying to force the action once again here on Rick Smits, who was just standing there, maybe leaned in a little bit with that right elbow area. But Patrick has to feel a lot better about himself in his game, getting on the board with 6 points and, more importantly, 7 rebounds. in that first quarter.
The game is tied at 21. Now Smiths will sit down. Dale Davis is back. Remember, the Knicks scoring only 20 points in the opening quarter. Incredibly, the last 3 quarters, the Knicks have scored only 49 points over 3 quarters. Well, Ewing hits the 2, and the Knicks now lead by 1.
Well, when you don't get a lot of transition baskets and you shoot poorly from the perimeter and your center goes 0 for 10 in a whole ball game, you're not going to score a lot of points.
Antonio Davis gets it back out to Vern Fleming. And the whistle away from the ball. Evans in a discussion with Larry Brown. He kind of paused before making the call. And that is an illegal defense call on the Knicks. So that's the warning on New York. Timeout taken. 9:46 remaining in the first half.
Time's running out on the Jazz. Do or die in prime time tomorrow at 9 Eastern on NBC.
America.
One of them demands something different from their Chevy truck, but they all want the same thing. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
For this guy, any deodorant will do. But these guys need Speed Stick. Antiperspirant that gives 110%, even if you don't. 24-hour protection against wetness. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick. For movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
Face off against Mullins. He takes it up the boards. Oh! Penalty against Johnson.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade with real juice for the taste you'll crave.
Oh, hooking riser to the penalty box. Roughing, draping. Boy, the penalty box is a popular place tonight.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade, raspberry, cranberry, and original.
There's nobody left to foul.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by New Ocean Spray Lemonade, made with real juice in 3 irresistible flavors. By McDonald's, official restaurant of World Cup USA '94. And by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Over the first 15 minutes, the Knicks have accounted for only 5 field goals, 5 of 24. Not that Indiana's burning it up, but the Knicks have shown that they are capable of these type of poor shooting performances as you look back in the playoffs. They have had 4 games where they have really struggled, including game 3 here on Saturday when they hit only 34% from the field. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, Marv, during that last time out, Pat Riley very concerned with his guards getting the ball up court and getting into their offense, which is the same thing that I heard from the Pacers bench when they said what they want to do is pressure the guards and try to run some of that time off the shot clock, getting them into their offense just a little bit later. Marv?
Ahmad, Knicks 22, Pacers 21, 2:20 gone by. In the second quarter, Derek McKee is back working against Charles Smith, and a foul is called. It is a block on Smith. That is his second personal. Fleming and Scott at the guards. Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, Derek McKee up front. Scott came up short, and Mason on the ball. So the Knicks go with Anthony and Davis in the backcourt. Ewing, Smith, and Mason up front. The Knicks have not been able to hit a field goal in 6.5 minutes. Shot clock is down to 7. Oh, picked off by Fleming. You saw it coming. Vern Fleming all the way.
Well, again, the good defense started by not letting Hubert Davis get the ball on the turnout off Ewing, and Patrick didn't fight for position. And really, the Knicks don't have any player, including their point guards, who can create plays for other people. And that's another reason reason why they had trouble scoring.
Indiana by 1 in an 8-2 spurt. Ewing, off a triple team, was able to recover. They collapsed on Ewing just inside the free throw strike.
Well, he got hacked by Antonio Davis. He shed him, and then he hit McKee in the head, knocked him out. So it is not pretty right now at the New York offensive end.
Offensive foul called on Indiana.
Well, the shot clock was winding down here with about 3 or 4 seconds to go, and Anthony really not doing anything to deceive anybody with his look. Looked at that pass all the way, telegraphed it, and right into the hands of Vern Fleming. And Pat Riley really upset with those kind of plays. When you leave your feet, don't leave it to be a passer as he telegraphed that play.
The offensive foul at the other end called against Derek McKee, his third. He'll sit down, replaced by Kenny Williams. Knicks lead by 1. John Starks back on the floor. Starks and Anthony at the back door. Anthony trying that 3. Rebounded by Mason. Mason for Ewing. Oh. Ewing way off the mark. That looked like it was deflected. Here's Dale Davis. Pacers 25, Knicks 24.
Well, Ewing late getting back on defense. That enabled the Pacers to take the ball to the basket as Haywood Workman and Anthony get all tangled up. Foul on Haywood Workman. And I am really shocked that John Starks had an opportunity to step up to that dotted line and take the charge and bailed out on Dale Davis, although he gives away probably about 60 pounds and 5 inches.
Haywood Workman checking to see if Greg Anthony was all right. Now, during the regular season, Haywood Workman and Greg Anthony got involved in a little scrap here at Market Square. John Starks buries the jump shot. And the Knicks lead by 1.
And he nods his head in approval to himself. That had to feel good leaving his hand. It looked good leaving his hand as he squared up to the basket.
Kenny Williams. Dale Davis pushed out by rebounded by Antonio Davis, and a foul is called. It's on Anthony Mason. Antonio Davis a bit on the quiet side in the 2 games in New York, but not the case here since the scene has shifted to Indiana. I mentioned a moment ago Greg Anthony and Haywood Workman going at each other. This was the 4th and final game of the regular season between the 2 clubs. Now watch this. Little shove. Wrestling match. But a different story here this afternoon. Haywood Workman making certain that Greg Anthony was okay.
Well, I thought underneath the basket he was just asking if he was okay.
Actually, that other melee precipitated by an accidental elbow from Greg Anthony.
Hundreds of miles to the north and 30 degrees south of zero lies Canada. Blasted by wind, buried by snow, and filled with ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be a few degrees colder, a few degrees bolder, yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
This bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky. Whoa! What a game!
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
He's a lot tougher than he looks. For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
Something big is happening at McDonald's. It's the big taste of the unique McRib sandwich, smothered in tangy barbecue sauce with slivered onions, served hot and fresh on its own special roll. You'll go for it in a big way.
Chances are, at one time or another, you've had a Chevy in your life. Maybe it's just because more people drive Chevrolets than any other brand. Or maybe it's because we've always believed that what it's really all about is finding a car or truck you can love. Over the next few months, Chevrolet will introduce more new cars and trucks than anyone else. Every one designed not just to occupy a space in your garage, find a place in your life. Genuine Chevrolet.
In the province of Ontario rests the world's newest great city. Toronto, modern wonders and friendly neighborhoods. Toronto, an exciting metropolis bursting with culture and enchantment. And this summer, this gracious host welcomes the world. USA Basketball's Dream Team 2 will join teams from 15 other countries as they vie for the gold in the World Championship of Basketball. For information, call 1-800-363-1190. Toronto, the world's newest great city.
This weekend, the French Open heats up on NBC. Friday, the men's semifinals. Saturday, the ladies' final. And Sunday, the men's final. The French Open presented by Fresca. This weekend.
The Indiana Pacers getting this transition opportunity because Patrick Ewing is late getting back on defense, but Dale Davis, in a very athletic move after putting the ball on the floor, finishes. But watch John Starks bail out here and get out of the way. And when the Knicks take a look at this on tape back in New York, John Starks is not going to be a happy man. Most of the New York Knicks, and John normally would step up and take that hit.
The Knicks 26 and Indiana 25. 5 minutes gone by. Second quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Gugas, and Ahmad Rashad from Indianapolis. Workman for Davis. Dale Davis put the brakes on, and then a nice move over Patrick Ewing.
A very aggressive offense by Dale Davis. That's about 3 or 4 times already in this first half where he has looked for his offense. Normally he'll take the little opportunity shot or normally does his damage on the offensive board.
Dale Davis in his 3rd NBA season out of Clemson. Kick ball. Dale Davis with those very long arms, and he is very strong.
And does an excellent job here of stopping very quickly and getting Ewing leaning the long way for the little jump hook, as Larry Brown has talked to all of his players about stepping up and making an offensive contribution. Got it from Derek McKee in Game 3. He's on the bench with fouls right now. Somebody else has to do it.
Reggie Miller has returned, replacing Byron Scott. 6.5 remaining. First half, Ewing strip. Here comes Workman, putting the move on. Starks going right at him.
And the reason Workman was able to get that steal off Ewing is he just dropped off Greg Anthony. Anthony has to move. He's either got to cut through or go to the corner and take his man out of there. They don't respect his outside shot.
Anthony for Mason. Knicks swing it. Starks for 3. Yes. And the game is tied at 29. So John Starks showing some signs. Kenny Williams, that is not his game. And a loose ball foul is called. Kenny Williams, a driving force, a leaper who usually gets his points inside. That time took the outside shot.
Well, as Patrick puts that on the floor, the reason Haywood Workman is able to come down and dig that thing out and start this fast break is because he just dropped way off Greg Anthony, as Patrick upset with himself right there and should know better, but he's got to wave Greg Anthony out of the way.
Patrick Ewing, though, turning it from the 0 for 10. He has 10 points, 7 rebounds. He's hit 4 of 10 from the field. And the foul against the Pacers. Reggie Miller picks up his first, in contrast to the game on Saturday where he was in foul trouble right throughout. Reggie quiet, though, 1 of 4 from the field. Tied at 29. Hopper and Starks now in the backcourt. Ewing with a nice move. Patrick Ewing giving the Knicks a 31-29 lead. And on the defensive end, Ewing is playing Dale Davis. Rick Spitz on the bench. Workman sets it on the back dribble against Hopper. Here's Miller getting the good look. Reggie Miller again came off a pick and had the open shot.
Actually, the Pacers running some passing game and motion right now, which is much more difficult for the New York Knicks to guard. And Reggie set that screen up nicely to get a shot in rhythm.
Game tied at 31. Ewing facing the double team, got it to the open man, and Derek Hopper hits the 2. He wanted a 3, but his foot was on the line. Kenny Williams trying to beat the Knicks down court. Good hustle by Antonio Davis. Davis staring at Charles Oakley, who took a late hit. What is curious about that is the fact that Antonio Davis has said right throughout the series that Charles Oakley, well, Starks called for the foul, but he said that Oakley is his role model. He looks up to his style of play and has said he hopes to be like Charles Oakley someday. But from that look at Oakley, there it is. Oakley said, isn't very quick. He's so wide, he's like a truck. I look forward to being something like him one day. But he did not appreciate the late hit from Oakley.
Well, the games are similar in that they both play around the basket. The difference is Antonio Davis has a lot of giddy up in those legs. He can play way over the rim, get up and block shots, and uses the leaping factor more than Charles Oakley as the extra grab, the extra hole, which has been a trademark of Charles Oakley and the New York Knicks now for the last 3-4 years.
John Starks picking up his third, sitting down. 4:20 to go in this first half. Smits is back, getting the good possession. Yes, and it counts.
I'm sure Patrick Ewing a little help from his point guard, Greg Anthony, as this ball is on the floor. Just a wave like that by Greg Anthony is really not good enough. He came in the second time much harder, but when you come down to dig a ball out, you have to really smother that thing and not just do a matador job.
Anthony picked up the foul. 3-point play for Smits, his 9th point. Indiana 34 and the Knicks 33. Anthony working against Fleming. Chant of defense from the crowd. Ewing comes up short. Oh, what a play by Oakley. Could not convert. Here's Miller with Hopper back. Try to squeeze his way, and the ball deflected out of bounds. Greg Anthony appealing to the official Bennett Salvatore, saying that it was kicked out by Miller.
Oh, an excellent job this time by Greg Anthony of chasing this play down, and he was right. That did go off the leg of Miller, but great hustle on the part of Greg Anthony.
Smits going at Ewing, again getting position. Back down court. Oakley, yes. Charles Oakley with his first field goal. The Knicks lead by 1.
Well, that was a nothing play, just moving the ball around the perimeter, but even at that, the Knicks shoot the jump shot much better.
And the foul away from the ball called on Ewing, who got involved with Miller.
Well, Rick Smits coming down, trying to use that back pick set by Reggie Miller, and Patrick bumping into him with the chest. And of course, Reggie Miller with a little bit of an acting job made it look a lot worse than it was, but tired right now, but he can't afford to pick up those kinds of cheap fouls.
Both teams are over the foul limit. As you saw, that was the second committed by Ewing. Reggie Miller spending much time at the line, 6 for 7 from the line. A timeout is called with 3 minutes 9 seconds remaining, first half.
This is the Oldsmobile 88 Special Edition. We loaded it with the kinds of things most people want, like 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, dual airbags, power windows and locks, air, tilt wheel, and much more. Yet, even with all that, it's still very affordable. Well, that's the whole point. It's your money.
In the territory of the beast, there are no boundaries. Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer. Wolf, rated R, at theaters June 17th.
Still working with prehistoric copiers? Get the copier that earned Buyers Lab's highest rating for uptime, Mita. For a more productive future, the times demand Mita.
Every 24 hours, somewhere in this country, a kid takes a gun and shoots another kid. Sometimes it's over a girl. Sometimes it's over pride. Sometimes it's because they have nothing better to do. Can you think of something better they can do? I can.
Yesterday in Utah, the Rockets stole one on the road to take a 3-1 series lead. Now as the scene shifts back to Houston in prime time, Hakeem and the Rockets are just one win away from a trip to the finals. For the Jazz, time's running out. One more defeat and they'll be singing the blues. Game 5 of the NBA Western Finals, tomorrow night at 9 Eastern on NBC.
Bob Costa's back in New York. Now, coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll turn our attentions to the Western Conference Finals between Houston and Utah. Game 5, as you know, is tomorrow night on NBC with the Rockets leading 3-1. We'll speak with the Rockets' volatile guard Vernon Maxwell at halftime, and we'll also get Julius Erving's thoughts on the first half of the Knicks and the Pacers. Right now, they're tied at 35, so let's head back to Market Square. Marvin, Matt, Marvelous.
Thank you, Bob. And you're looking at Bonnie Blair, 5-time gold medalist, 3 different Olympics. She was the co-grand marshal along with Mario Andretti in the Indianapolis 500 Festival Parade yesterday. Bonnie Blair on hand, as is Georgetown's John Thompson, who whispered some sweet nothings into the ear of Patrick Ewing on Sunday after that poor first half in Game 7 against the Chicago Bulls, and then Patrick turned it around in the second half. Perhaps he felt he should have been here on Saturday to try and push Patrick along in the second half.
John has been not only Patrick's mentor and coach, but a good friend, and certainly Patrick in need of a good friend and encouraging words at this particular point. But also, Patrick is a man enough to handle himself in this whole situation.
First shot was deflected short. Ewing with the save. Trying to put it off the leg of Al Davis. It did not work. And Ewing got entangled underneath the basket. Meanwhile, the Pacers able to score. The tip by Kenny Williams, and the Pacers lead 38-35 with 2:25 to go in the first half. Indiana trying to tie the series at 2. Knicks want to take a 3-1 lead back to New York. Again, sloppy ball handling. Anthony had it, lost it. Here comes Miller. Reggie looking for the shot, did not force it. Kenny Williams on a pull. And the rebound. Hubbard nearly coughed it up. Eric checking with Pat Riley. Oakley. Offensive foul. Looks like Antonio Davis and Charles Oakley continuing that heated discussion that began earlier, and Charles was hit with a technical foul by Bennett Salvatore.
Well, Charles Oakley and Mason tangled up, and Charles with the extra hit before, which Antonio Davis took exception to. Backing in, this is not the most comfortable situation for Oakley because he does not have that explosiveness. And now the extra push after the foul call, or what Oakley thought should have been a foul call, as he poked Davis in the chest and face area.
Now you can see the change of attitude on the part of the Indiana Pacers. The 2 games in New York, they look to be, and Larry Brown first to admit, in fact, they look to be overwhelmed, in awe of the whole scene at Madison Square Garden. Not the case here, though, in games 3 and 4. As Reggie Miller hits the technical, and Indiana now leads by 4. And Larry Brown saying, I think it's like a bully. Speaking of the Knicks, they keep beating you up, and unless you fight back, they're going to continue to do it. So now we've got to fight back, and they have certainly demonstrated more emotion, more intensity in the games back here at Market Square Arena against a very tough New York Knicks club. There's Miller. And a loose ball foul charged to the Pacers. Antonio Davis picks up his first. Both teams are over the foul limit.
Well, both Larry Brown and Reggie Miller have said recently that just because the Knicks have had some disappointments the last 3 years, having their season ended by the Chicago Bulls does not mean that this trip to the finals is automatically theirs, even though the Pacers came on late in the second half of this season and upsetting Orlando in the first round, and then Atlanta being the lower seed, that they have just as much right to winning this Eastern Conference Finals, New York, and they are a good defensive team. But Larry did say he talked in reverence about this team and pointed out that the Knicks do so many good things, and we would like to do them as well, that I think the Pacers kind of thought that, well, you know, we have to look up to these guys, but sure, you have to respect your opponent, but it ends there. You have to go out and play basketball once you step between those lines, and that's where it's decided.
Both clubs shooting well at the line here today. Indiana 11 for 12, and New York 13 of 16 at the foul line. Indiana with a 39-37 advantage. A minute 20 left in the half. Mitchell lost the dribble. Here comes Hopper. Fleming back. Turns him around. Nice move by Derek Hopper to tie the game at 39.
Looked like the Derek Harper of Dallas Maverick days 3 or 4 years ago, in the open floor, taking it hard to the basket.
Antonio Davis in a battle with Charles Oakley, who was trying to front Davis and is called for the foul.
Sam Mitchell losing that, and it looked like Hubert Davis should have controlled. Mitchell knocked it loose again, but Derek Harper has Vern Fleming spinning like a top there as he just made up his mind he was going to take that ball to the basket. Nothing Vern Fleming could do about it.
Antonio Davis, a poor free throw shooter, to the line for the first time. And as I say that, he swishes it through. Antonio Davis, 64% during the season, and he's dropped off in the playoffs 57% at the line.
That's something he's obviously going to have to work on in the offseason. He does have a nice 14-15 jump shot from the baseline.
Charles Oakley tried to save it and then went behind the back and fired it high and wide. It will be Indiana ball with 53 seconds remaining in the half. Pacers by 1. It was a horrendous shooting first quarter. Both teams picking it up in the second. Reggie Miller. Miller on the follow. Wild shot by Miller. Rebounded by Mason. Anthony Mason, a big man who handles the ball so well. Gets it to Oakley, who did not handle it well.
That's what I mean about Charles Oakley in a post position. He gets great position because of the width of his body, but he's just not comfortable there. It always seems like he feels that shot is going to get blocked, and he hurries there.
Indiana 40, and the Knicks 39. Seconds remaining in the half. Here's Miller. Finger roll by Reggie Miller, who has 14 points in this first half. 11 7/10 seconds to go in the half. Indiana by 3. Hopper does not like the hand checking by Miller. You can see on the inbounds Hopper upset with Miller. Pressure by the Pacers bothering the Knicks. Hopper's pass deflected. Oakley on the recovery. Oakley for Davis. Crowd wanted to travel to Oakley. The tip missed. Mitchell knocks it aside, and that's the end of the first half. Well, Patrick Ewing able to come back from the 0 for 10. 12 points, 8 rebounds on 5 out of 12 from the field. And his opposing center, Rick Smits, with 9 points. Reggie Miller, though, with a good first half. Started for the most part at the foul line. He has 14 points to lead both teams. At the half, it's the Pacers by 3. Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report in a moment.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Well, the Knicks led at halftime of Game 3 on Saturday, 39-37. They matched that total here, but the Pacers are in front by 3 at 42-39. Julius Erving joins us in the studio. We focused on this mostly from the standpoint of the Knicks sputtering, but obviously the Pacers are doing something to contribute to their troubles.
There's no question about it, Bob. I think it's about time that we really give this team some credit. Larry Brown has won everywhere that he's gone, and he's a great coach. And we have a little video here, if we can bring that up. They're big people. You know, they block shots. They contest the ball around the hoop. Their guards are exceptional. They don't allow the other teams to penetrate and make good passes to their big people for layups. And in this instance, Vern Fleming picks off a pass and gets a chance to go down and lay it up. And, you know, they rebound the ball, and they're willing to put the other team on the line, make the team, you know, beat them by making free throws, which the Knicks have not been that great at doing in this series.
Let's take a look at the comparative numbers of Patrick Ewing and Rick Smits. Ewing, of course, held to just 1 point in Game 3, while Smits got 14 points and 7 rebounds. Smits with a fairly characteristic performance in the first half. Ewing missed his first 3 shots. Since then, 5 of 9 for 12 points. Now, he got off 12 shots in the half. He got off only 10 in the entire game in Game 3. He averages about 19 shots a game for the season.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about Patrick's game, and this was evident in the first quarter, he was finding other ways to score than out of their set offense. So he was running in transition, he got a follow shot, he was offensive rebounding, got a couple of shots out of that. That pattern needs to continue in the second half, but the Knicks can't be content just to rebound the ball, hold it, and go down and run set plays all the time. It's just a little too dictatorial.
Okay, well, a reminder now about our primetime coverage of the conference finals. It starts tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern with Game 5 in the West. Houston with a 3-1 lead and looking to close the series out at home. And Game 5 in the East is Wednesday at 9, the Pacers and the Knicks from Madison Square Garden. When we come back here, we will hear from Houston Rockets guard Vernon Maxwell. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA.
Welcome back to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. Another low-scoring affair between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. Indiana with that 3-point lead as we head to the second half. Marv Albert, Ahmad Rashad, and Matt, things beginning to get testy for the first time this series.
Well, despite some poor shooting on the part of both teams, here's how all this started with Derek Harper picking up Reggie Miller, holding him and fouling what he's supposed to do, but nobody really shows up, and Derek Harper in a foul mood right here, and Reggie Miller on this ensuing inbound play, a little touching. Derek Harper trying to knock it off, doesn't like it, although the pressure by Miller is not that hard. Harper is still upset the fact that Reggie curled on him and got that lay-in, and as these two part, going to the locker room for halftime, they have some nasty words for each other.
Yes, and earlier Charles Oakley and Antonio Davis got involved. Let's go to Ahmad with Indiana coach Larry Brown.
All right, thanks a lot, Marv. Coach, it seems that you're executing your offense pretty well the first half. Just shots not falling.
Yeah, we missed some easy shots, and I told them if we can keep getting good shots against the Knicks, you know, we have a heck of a chance. But they really hurt us on the offensive board, Ahmad. I thought we defended their first shot great, but they really did a job on the board.
Is maybe a little bit of that deficit on the offensive boards because of your double teaming?
Yeah, well, you know, you have to give up something, and then it's tough getting blockouts. We usually have a small man on Mason or Oakley, and, you know, that's their game. But we let Patrick get to the offensive board, and we're not helping off him, and that's something we got to work on.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. All right, thanks, Larry. Back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad, a look now at the Miller Genuine Draft halftime stats. Both clubs suffering in the shooting department. The Knicks 12 of 38, 32%. Indiana 15 of 39, 38% from the field. Patrick Ewing turning it from the 0 for 10 the other day. At the line, both clubs, though, have been thriving, which is unusual for this series. Knicks 13 of 16, Indiana 12 out of 14. Reggie Miller 8 of 9 from the line, 14 points in all. Larry Brown mentioned the edge off the offensive boards. Well, the Knicks with an 11-6 advantage in that department. Pacers 42 and the Knicks 39 as tie the series at 2.
The comfort of a luxury car
the fuel efficiency of a compact car, and the performance of a sports car are at last in one car. The new Maxima from Nissan.
Today's engines need Castrol GTX, the motor oil that provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your oil breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Hey, you get a tough case of athlete's foot, the itching, the cracking, the burning. You want a medicine that acts tough. Boom! Tough-actin Tenactin. Clinically proven Tenactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. Get tough-actin Tenactin.
At the time, Muggsy, a man of small stature, was to battle the giant named Goliath. Armed only with an incredible thirst to prove himself, Muggsy, fleet of foot, did circle and confuse Goliath, and thus slew the mighty giant. All the people celebrated. Sprite flowed freely, thus it was written. Height is nothing, thirst is everything. Obey your thirst.
Now, a 50-year-old secret revealed when two D-Day heroes are reunited for the first time since 1944. Now, at a special time, Wednesday.
A special Thursday, Law & Order goes after a baby broker.
I didn't do anything wrong.
She cannot sell a baby. A special Law & Order on a special night, NBC Thursday.
Indiana by 3 over the Knicks as we head to the third quarter. From the Knicks point of view, you would think it would be difficult to match the depths of Saturday's performance. But, Matt, the Knicks are right there. They are on pace, to use an expression. Indiana pace, on pace.
I got it.
Yes. Only 39 points in the first half, similar to what took place on Saturday. A look at the leading scorers. Patrick Ewing, though, is on the score sheet with 12. 7 for Harper, 6 apiece for Oakley and Mason. But again, very poor shooting by the Knicks. While Indiana led by Reggie Miller. He's only 3 of 9 from the field, but he's 8 of 9 at the free throw line. 9 points for Smith, 6 for Dale Davis.
And the Pacers did not get that contribution from Derek McKee in the first half or from Haywood Workman. McKee had to go to the bench and spend a lot of time there with those 3 personal fouls. Pat Riley could not have been happy with the fact that the Knicks turned it over 11 times in that first half, and Larry Brown had to be upset by giving up 11 offensive rebounds to New York.
Neither club is able to get a run going. There has not been a 6-point lead as of yet for either side. The most that either team has led by 5. Hopper with the drop pass. And the stuff attempt was missed by Charles Smith, but Hugh Holland's blowing the whistle. And let's see what the call is. A technical foul. Apparently Smith hanging on the rim.
Well, Charles Smith went up there and actually was fouled by Rick Smith. Tried to hang on the rim, or did hang on the rim, and really it spun that ball out of there. But Hugh Holland, I believe, is going to call a technical foul on Charles Smith for hanging on the rim. But when you are fouled and when you are hit, you are supposed to be allowed to protect yourself to keep from falling.
The officials in a discussion now. Hugh Holland, Hugh Evans, Bennett Salvatore, Patrick Ewing trying to check it out. Here's another look at it.
Charles Smith making a strong move, getting inside Derek McKee. You see the bump there by Rick Smith just to throw him a little bit off balance, but by hanging on the rim, he actually catapulted that ball out of the cylinder.
And the technical foul call will stand. Reggie Miller will go to the line.
One other interpretation there could be, as Pat Riley discusses it with Hugh Holland, is that no foul call. The ball spun out of the rim, and with Charles Smith hanging on the rim, actually tried to get that offensive rebound, which is what you are not allowed to do.
But the Pacers not able to take advantage. And Charles Smith continues to struggle in this series. He's played 91 minutes. He has accounted for only 7 field goals. 1 for 4 here today. Field goal in 15 minutes. That's been it.
And the reason for the jump ball now, Hugh Hollis is telling us that no possession of the basketball when the whistle blew, so jump it up in midcourt.
Dale Davis, who goes on the jump balls. Patrick Ewing able to control. And the call away from the ball as Starks try to cut down low. Rick Smith's call, his third. 3 apiece on Smith's and McKee.
Well, Smith stepping out to try to impede, and so doing, impede the progress of John Starks. And I'm sure the Knicks will start looking inside of Patrick Ewing to see if they can't get 4 on Smith.
Hayward Workman handling. Derek McKee for 3.
The Indiana Pacers just 2 for 17 from beyond the arc, not even looking for it. Reggie Miller has those 2. Derek McKee did not hesitate at all.
Another Knick turnover. McKee on a 3-on-2 gives it to Smith. Offensive foul. And that is a damaging sequence for the Pacers. Smith has picked up his 4th.
And you really have to blame Derek McKee on this play. Larry Brown was talking today about his unselfishness as this fast break starts by Hayward Workman. Either McKee should either take this ball to the basket or hold up, but to give the ball to a 7'4" player like Rick Smith that far away from the basket and expect him to finish the play, too difficult, and really a tough break for Indiana as he goes to the bench with 4.
Indiana has the biggest lead of the game, a 6-point margin. Hoffer from downtown, and Miller able to get to it. Workman for 3.
Hard to figure this game out. They go like 2 games without even taking a 3. Now they're launching them at every opportunity.
And the call, last touch by Workman.
John Starks trying to beat Reggie Miller the ball, and Hayward Workman reaching in to knock it loose, and off the leg of John Starks. New York gets a break.
Knicks with 11 turnovers in the first half. Indiana had only 6. 3-second violation. Call against Patrick Ewing. Indiana starting this 3rd quarter with Hayward, Workman, and Reggie Miller in the backcourt. Rick Spence sitting down and picking up his 4th, so Antonio Davis, Dale Davis, and Derek McKee are up front. Workman. Hayward Workman, who bounced back effectively in game 3. Quiet thus far today. That's only a 2nd field goal, but it leads to a Knick timeout. Indiana now by 8. A 20-second timeout taken by the Knicks.
Well, it seems when either team gets good, crisp ball movement with good spacing, and by spacing I mean about 15 to 18 feet away, the shots look much better. The shots are in rhythm, and everybody looks more confident. It's when they get into trying to run set plays with setting screens where there's so much bumping and holding and grabbing where things really get ugly. So, and also watching John Starks, who has 3 fouls. He's been matched up on Hayward Workman the last couple of trips. Derek Harper, who did a good job on Reggie Miller in game number 2 and played him at the end of the 2nd quarter, is now on playing him now.
Indiana, 8-0 run. That goes back to the 2nd quarter when the game was tied at 39. Capacity crowd better than 16,000 at Market Square. The Pacers averaged 13,200 per game during the regular season for the franchise. Ewing tried to set the pick, could not. Hoffer, yes. Derek Hoffer has 9 points. And the Pacers now lead 47-41. Off the double team, Dale Davis got loose, and he was fouled by Charles Oakley.
Dale Davis very aggressive offensively, going over to set that fake pick and roll where you look like you're going to set a pick for the dribble and then slip quickly to the basket. He got that ball made, a very aggressive move to the basket, challenging Charles Oakley, who is not a shot blocker. And again, that long arm of Dale Davis way up above everybody else. All Oakley could do is...
Dale Al Davis, only a 52% free throw shooter during the regular season. Indiana Pacers drafting Dale Davis to rebound, and that he does, averaging 11 rebounds per game last season and this season. He led the ACC in rebounding 3 straight years, while at Clemson, Indiana by 7, 9.5 remaining in the third quarter. They collapse on Ewing again. Starks with an open shot. John Starks with his 3rd field goal. He is 3 of 8 for 7 points. And the Pacers now lead by 5. McKee trying to use the screen. Smith able to recover. McKee with a driving hook. And it was last touched by the Pacers. Pacers 48 and the Knicks 43. Ewing up short. Seems to lose the grip on that baseline jump shot. Miller for 3. And that gets the crowd going. They just change it to a 2. Apparently Reggie's foot on the line, but it is a 7-point lead for Indiana. And a foul against the Knicks.
Well, the Pacers, who have not even looked for 3-point shots throughout this series, they made the fewest of any team in the league, and you see the right toe of Reggie Miller on that strike. For the 2-pointer, Reggie Miller wanted the 3, and most people would say that's the worst shot in basketball. If you're going to launch from that 23-foot area, you might as well be behind the line. Of course, Reggie Miller, number 3 in the NBA in field goal percentage during the regular season at 41%, one of the best in the business.
Charles Smith called for the offensive foul. Indiana with a 7-point lead. McKee, line drives the hook home. Indiana on a roll, up by 9. 4 minutes in, third quarter. Smith taking that lead pass, has it knocked away. Good play by McKee. Workman with the pull-up. And the Pacers on the loose balls here this afternoon. Miller missing on the 3, gets it back. Miller for 2, yes. And the Knicks are being run off the court by the Pacers. Timeout call.
Well, this is how the Pacers used to play, looking for 3s at every opportunity. And when that man starts feeling it, he can shoot them with the bat.
Indiana 54 and the Knicks 43.
Tonight, it's headlines and Zelda Harris on The Tonight Show.
I'm an old student. Remember Brian McKenna? Smart kid.
Good ball player. Great hands.
Where's he going to college? He's not.
Too bad.
Studying aviation electronics.
But you said...
In the Navy. Then college.
The Navy College Fund and the Montgomery GI Bill. Up to $30,000 for your college education.
You and the Navy.
Like I said, smart kid.
Full speed ahead.
The Nissan Altima has more front headroom than a Mercedes E320. It also has more rear headroom, more rear leg room, and more overall room. Yet it's priced $20,000 less, which means with this luxury sedan, you'll be able to add a room. The Nissan Altima. It's time to expect more from a car.
These 3 such very good friends wanted a glorious son of St. Thomas. But one evening, the tall one lost her money and her credit cards. And as soon as she mentioned Citibank Visa, No problem, I told her. Call this minute. Go on. They're open all the time. Well, she got a new card in one day. I see credit cards from all around the world, and with Citibank, it's always the same thing. No problem.
Not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
Okay, guys, baseball or bass fishing?
Baseball. Bass fishing.
Hey, guys, watch this.
Miller Lite presents professional baseball. Watson calls for a fresh bass. There's the windup and the fish. It's a high fly bass. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. Here comes a play at the plate. You're out. Oh, he caught the bass. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? Whoa.
They're going wild at Market Square Arena. Indiana Pacers with a 15-4 run that goes back to the second quarter when the game was tied at 39, and they have now jumped in front 54 to 43. Charles Smith, air ball. Handled by Patrick Ewing. Shot clock at 4. Clocker for 3. And back come the Pacers. Reggie Miller feeling it now. Off-balance shot. Rebounded by Patrick Ewing. Well, the Knicks with a NBA playoff record low, 68 points on Saturday. And you have to wonder, well, they're about to break that record here today.
Well, they continue to get good shots. That was a good one by John Starksburg. Harper got a good look. He just can't get anything to fall right now, and the Pacers are taking advantages, beating him down the floor.
Antonio Davis and the layup did not put it down. You see the Knicks more turnovers than field goals at this point. They're 2 for 9 from the field in the third quarter. Harper. The horrendous Knicks shooting continues. Antonio Davis gets inside, and the Pacers lead by 13. This is an Indiana Pacer team that lost all 4 games during the regular season to the Knicks. Lost the first 2 of this series, and they have come roaring back. Patrick Ewing, yes, 14 for Ewing. And Indiana leads by 11.
And Patrick has been open time and time again when they run that little pick and roll on him when he kind of slats up to the corner. That's the first time Derek Harper's looked for him.
McKee open for 3. Hit one earlier. Back comes Starks. The Knicks cannot hit a jump shot. Once again, the perimeter shooting has been just awful, which we have seen from time to time over the course of the season and in the playoffs, as we showed you earlier, as far as the Knicks are concerned.
I think the crowd is really rattling the Knicks right now. That last shot by John Starks, a terrible percentage shot.
Antonio Davis hitting on a hook. Indiana by 13. Patrick Ewing stepped down the line. I don't think John Thompson believed that shot. That's not a shot you want to see Ewing take, but it's desperation time. The Knicks not hitting anything, and Ewing fired one up from way out. The Knicks shooting only 30% for the game.
And the Knicks are becoming unraveled. They're taking ill-advised fast break shots when it's been a 2-on-4, and then the Ewing jumper, although it went in with 11 seconds on the shot clock, they are unraveling.
Ewing gets inside, and he was fouled by Dale Davis. That's 3 on Dale Davis.
Antonio Davis putting it on the floor here and whipping right by Charles Oakley. He does have the quickness advantage and able to get the shooter's bounce on the touch. And Patrick Ewing with 1 foot on the line, and we've seen that time and time again. But Patrick Ewing looking for the 3, doesn't get it. As right now, the Knicks just do not look like they have any idea at all what they want to do offensively.
Indiana leads by 10. Anthony Mason is back. Byron Scott and LaSalle Thompson have checked in. For the Pacers, LaSalle Thompson has been spotted the last 3 games, making it back after suffering that broken bone in his left hand in game 1 of the series against the Orlando Magic. Patrick Ewing is 7 of 15 from the field. The rest of the Knicks, 9 for 36, 25% shooting. We are just under 4 minutes to go in the third. Indiana leads by 9. McKee off the head fake. Nice move, and he drew the foul on Mason.
Well, Ahmad Rashad was telling us at that last time out, sitting by the Pacer bench, that Larry Brown urging Derek McKee every time he gets a scoring opportunity, look for it. They need it right now with Rick Smith out, but that's when this run started, when Rick Smith went to the bench with 4 fouls.
After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
After midnight, we're gonna check
the cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
We're gonna call talking.
So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Friday, July 1st.
The comfort of a luxury car. The fuel efficiency of a compact car. And the performance of a sports car are at last in one car. The new Maxima from Nissan.
Hi. You know, this week, all Goodyear Eagles for performance cars and all Goodyear Wranglers for light trucks are on sale. Heck, I think this says it all. On sale Wranglers, Eagles, Goodyear, all on.
This is Dave. Dave is trying to have an extreme summer. But Dave doesn't have to do all that. All Dave has to do is this. Extreme nachos, new from Taco Bell, with rad red chips to dip in our dish. Beans, tomatoes, sour cream with guacamole and wild sauce. So, for an extreme summer, dip like this. Don't dip like this. Cross the border, man.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Citibank Visa. Now with your photo and signature on the front for greater security. Not just Visa, Citibank Visa. By Taco Bell, the slam and jammin' place for great taste and fast food. Cross the border. And by Nissan, it's time to expect more from a car.
Back at Market Square Arena, the Pacers with a 58-49 lead on the New York Knicks, and that Knicks front line has been silent. Charles Smith has been invisible throughout the series against Indiana. Charles Oakley with an uncharacteristic low-key performance. 1 of 5 from the field, 4 of 6 from the line, 6.7 rebounds. And Pat Riley now has Ewing, Oakley, and Mason up front. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the third. McKee called for a traveling violation.
Well, he just never really felt comfortable as Haywood Workman by going into the corner, which is really where he should go. It still enabled Derek Harper to be within reach, that when, if Derek McKee put the ball on the floor, Harper would have been able to dig it out.
Harper draws the double team. Ewing went down. He thought he was fouled. Starks shooting. John Starks has picked it up. He now has 9 points, and Indiana leads by 7. 6 unanswered points by the Knicks. Byron Scott facing the double team. LaSalle Thompson, bad shot. Starks for Oakley, and he's fouled. Foul committed by Thompson, who was able to hustle back down court.
Well, Patrick Ewing is either getting knocked down or cannot keep his feet there. Actually, a little pull down by LaSalle Thompson. And at the other end, as he lets that ball go, he just trips over the feet of Derek McKee. But it ignites one of the rare running opportunities for the Knicks as Charles Oakley, as he took it hard in the basket, wanted to get to the other side of the rim to prevent a block shot.
Oakley is 4 for 6 from the line.
The Knicks have to be very happy right now that they feel they must have withstood this strong rush by the Indiana Pacers. Ever since Rick Smits went to the bench with 4 fouls, that's when the Pacers got it going. Reggie Miller had the hot end. Derek McKee got involved, and they were just beating the Knicks down the floor. But now the Knicks find themselves just trailing by 7.
3:03 remaining in the third. Well, the Knicks were shooting well at the free throw line. Derek McKee. Anthony Mason felt that he was fouled. Derek McKee turning it on Saturday after the 0 for 7 in Game 1 and 2 for 9 in Game 2. Came out very aggressively at the offensive end. He's had another solid game here this afternoon. Pass for Mason, able to recover it. Starks, shot clock running down. Mason changed his mind and called for a 3-second violation.
Although Starks, time and time again, Derek Harper comes off on that screen roll and for whatever reason will not throw the ball back to the screener, and that's what he has to do to make the Pacer defense rotate. All he's doing is coming off the screen and throwing a pass and not putting any pressure at all on Indiana's defense.
Knicks with their 16th turnover. Workman was looking for the give and go, but he's working hard for that shot. Oakley diving for it, and Ewing came up with it. Starks stopped by Scott. Ewing beat Thompson, then lost it. Turnover number 17.
And Derek McKee took a shot in the face from Patrick Ewing, as all of the New York Knicks right now are having all kinds of problems handling the basketball as the Pacers take a 22nd. Here Patrick just loses it as he's rushing things, and in his effort to try to get it back, catches Derek McKee in the eye.
Well, the Indiana Pacers trying to tie the series as it heads back to New York. Square Garden on Wednesday night in game number 1. The Knicks won by 11, led by Charles Oakley. Had a solid game. Ewing with 32 points, 13 rebounds in game 2 this past Thursday at Madison Square Garden, as the Knicks made it 11 straight over the Pacers in New York. And then game number 3, a horror show for the Knicks. No field goals for Patrick Ewing. 0 for 10, only 1 point. Indiana did a good job. Only 68 points for the Knicks. That's a record NBA playoff low since the inception of the 24-second clock. Now today, Ewing 7 of 15, 18 points, 12 rebounds. Minute 45 to go in the third. Indiana has a 9-point lead. Bert Fleming is back on the floor. Fleming and Scott in the backcourt. LaSalle Thompson, Derek McKee, and Antonio Davis up front. Here's Scott. And Ewing with the rebound. John Starks has become a factor, hitting the outside shot. The Knicks with only 12 points this third quarter, outscored 18-12 in the third. Traveling violation called on Mason, who's given it back the last 2 times down court.
18th turnover now for New York as Mason waiting, just picked up his pivot foot on an obvious walking violation, and Hugh Holland had a very easy look at it. But anytime the Knicks get into that situation where there's any bit of tentativeness, they just stand around. Nobody's cutting to the basket. People aren't moving to the spots.
Screen and roll set up between Fleming and McKee leading to the foul on Harper. That is his second.
And that's the kind of play that Derek Harper has to make at the offensive end for New York. As Vern Fleming came off McKee, he threw the ball back to the screener, and that will get some kind of a reaction from the defense.
Hubert Davis back on the floor. He's come up to John Starks. Scott. Byron Scott with a second field goal. Pacers lead 62-51. Davis for three. Yes. Hubert Davis off the bench. And that is his first field goal. Indiana leads by 8 points. Half minute remaining in the third. Davis with the steal. Davis draws the foul. Hubert Davis taking it away on that pass intended for Byron Scott. For Scott, his first foul.
Well, on this half-court play by the Indiana Pacers, Hubert Davis not doing a good job there. He didn't get behind Byron Scott, and that enabled Scott just to get that little bit of daylight for the open jump shot. The next time, he actually did a better job of following on the other side, and his aggressiveness made him be able to come through there in the passing lane of the steal. And you saw the obvious shove by Scott.
Well, Hubert Davis, who shot 83% from the line during the regular season, has been off during the playoffs. Greg Anthony checking back, replacing Derek Harper. Herb Williams coming on for Patrick Ewing. The Knicks have hit only 2 of 5 at the line here in the third quarter. Now, Matt, the score, the Pacers 62, the Knicks 54. In game 3 after 3, it was 62-52. Indiana. 19 seconds remaining in the third. Indiana leads by 7. Final seconds. Antonio Davis. 3 quarters complete in Indianapolis. The Pacers with a 62-55 lead. Now the Knicks, Reggie Miller, 18 points to lead Indiana. Done it for the most part at the foul line, but hit some jump shots in the early going in the third. We'll be back after a word from your local station.
After years of being told you can't afford a luxury coupe until you're rich and gray, we'd like to offer this compelling rebuttal. Introducing the all-new Nissan 240SX, the affordable luxury coupe.
Something big is happening at McDonald's. It's the big taste of the unique McRib sandwich, smothered in tangy barbecue sauce with slivered onions, served hot and fresh on its own special roll. You'll go for it in a big way.
At the end of the day, more top mechanics in America choose one motor oil over any other brand to help keep their own cars running longer. Valvoline motor oil. People who know use Valvoline.
It's the greatest show on earth.
Flying through the air with the greatest of ease. Oh, what a circus shot that was.
Whoa! Is the circus in town? We love this game.
NBC News, now more than ever.
Hold on to your hats.
Hey, how you doing?
And stop the music. Ow! The cow
cowboy way.
I do believe she loves me.
Woody Harrelson.
Howdy. And how would you like those steaks prepared?
Well, just knock his horns off, whack his nasty old butt, and chunk him right down on the plate.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Maybe we ought to show him how old Pancho Villa used to make guys talk. Damn, that looks like it hurts.
The Cowboy Way, rated PG-13. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
The all-new Galant brings thoughtful details to every corner of its cabin.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Twin cup holders for driver and passenger. Extra storage under the armrest. A rear seat that folds down.
Brown paper packages tied up with...
Even the trunk has a trunk in the all-new Galant. From Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Let's go Knicks for New York!
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
On this Memorial Day weekend here in Indianapolis, a banner sports weekend in this area. Indianapolis 500. Knicks and Pacers in games 3 and 4. And this one taking on the look of what we saw in Game 3 on Saturday. The Knicks with only 55 points, trailing the Pacers 62 to 55. The Knicks with a 16-point third quarter. Fourth quarter underway. Marv Albert, Matt Dugas, and Ahmad Rashad. Fleming on the recovery. Smits with the tip. Rick Smits back on the floor playing with 4 fouls. Smits has 11. Indiana leads by 9.
Well, Rick did what any player who gets double teamed should do. Once he gives the ball up, get yourself back in on the offensive board. He just stood tall over everybody else to knock it down.
Charles Oakley with his second field goal. Hit a quarter jump earlier. And now able to drill that jump shot. He has 8 points along the bound. Indiana has a 7-point advantage. Herb Williams going up against Rick Smits. Fleming for Smits. And the foul against... No, it's a 3-second violation on the Pacers.
Dale Davis sneaking in on the weak side, trying to get to the offensive board as he anticipated a shot from Rick Smits.
Good pressure by Fleming, and that pass from Oakley carries out of bounds as Anthony goes flying. The Knicks with a very sloppy performance, and this typifies what has taken place here this afternoon.
The Knicks just not communicating and very careless and very sloppy. Have been tossing it all over the lot. 19th turnover.
Minute in, fourth quarter. Reggie Miller now guarded by Greg Anthony. Reggie Miller for Vern Fleming. Shot clock at 6. Rebound, Dale Davis. Good box out by Charles Oakley. Patrick Ewing sitting it out here at the start of the fourth. Now Ewing getting set to return. Davis went to the left hand. The tip by Oakley. Charles Oakley with the hustle rebound, and he is hurt. Charles trying to walk it off now. McKee gets inside. And a foul call.
Well, Charles Oakley coming barreling in on the left side to get this tip in. As he knocks it in, as he comes down right on the foot. That looks like Dale Davis there, and turned his ankle. Actually hit it with the front part of his foot and turned that ankle. But Charles Oakley will not stay in the ball game as he has to go to the bench as Patrick Ewing has replaced him.
Charles trying to walk it off, came up hobbling. Oakley 10 points, 13 rebounds, but what has hurt, 7 turnovers committed by Charles Oakley. Some careless passes here this afternoon.
Yet as poorly as the Knicks have shot the ball, as poorly as they have taken care of it, they are still in this ball game and have to feel better about themselves than they did in Game 3 with all the things that are going wrong.
Indiana leads 65-59. Anthony and Davis in the backcourt. Mason, Williams, and Ewing up front. Patrick Ewing just took a shot in the face from Rick Smits and then throws up a bad shot. that was intended for Dale Davis. Played it off the glass. Here's Smith.
When some things are going right, they're going right. A terrible pass, but Dale Davis able to corral it, and then a quick jumper by Rick Smith.
Pacers by 8. Charles Oakley getting set to return. That rally wants Oakley back on the floor. Ewing, will it count? Yes, it does, and the foul. Drop step move by Ewing, who was fouled by Fleming.
Well, Larry Brown wants to come down very, very quickly on Patrick Ewing, but he's able to knife in between. Timeout on the floor, 9:17 to go, fourth quarter.
Time's running out on the Jazz. Do or die in prime time tomorrow at 9 Eastern on NBC.
Most people have something they're willing to pay a premium for. For some, it's art. For some, it's entertainment. For others, it's travel. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
In basketball or business, you got to know what your players can do for you. That's why Sharp has a winning game plan for copiers. This new video can help you choose the right copier for your business. Sharp's got the players you need to win.
Hold on to your hats.
Hey, how you doing?
And stop the music. Ow! The cowboy way.
I do believe she loves me.
Woody Harrelson.
Howdy. And how would you like those steaks prepared?
Well, just knock his horns off, whack his nasty old butt, and chunk him right down on the plate.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Maybe we ought to show him how old Pancho Villa used to make guys talk. Damn, that looks like it hurts.
The Cowboy Way. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
In sports, you better know where your X's and O's are. It's no different in business. So call Sharp for this new winning game plan video. He'll show you how to get the plain paper facts for the lowest cost per copy. Because nothing beats winning.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys.
This is the place.
Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy.
There they are.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Today's Miller Moment takes us back to the first ever ABA All-Star game, which was played here in Indianapolis back in 1968. Number 11 is none other than Larry Brown of the New Orleans Buccaneers. He scored 17 in the game, along with 5 assists. How about the form here on the three-point shot by Larry Brown, who was named MVP of the game and got to drive home in a new car. In recognition of this moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Larry Brown, in his playing career as a professional, a 3-time ABA All-Star, led the ABA in assists in each of the league's first 3 seasons. Patrick Ewing completing the three-point play, and the Pacers now lead 67-62 with 9:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. This game was tied at 39. Indiana went on that 15-4 run. Pacers have had control of the game in the second half for the most part. And the outside official, Hugh Hollins, makes the call on Patrick Ewing. That's his third.
And Patrick nods his head. The aggressive move by Rick Smith into the lane here. As, again, Anthony with just a little wave inside. Patrick getting caught trying to strip him down low. He got away with one of those in the first half. Not this time.
Haywood Workman and Reggie Miller at the guards. Rick Smith, Derek McKee, and Dale Davis up front. McKee played by Mason, and now draws the double team. Workman has the open shot. Saved by Oakley. Knicks do not mind seeing Haywood Workman taking that outside shot.
Oh, Martelli's doing that last time out to Larry Brown, encouraging his team to keep the ball moving. That makes it that much more difficult for the Knicks to defend. When you get stagnant, they are a better defensive team.
Ewing with a drop step. Patrick Ewing squeezing under Rick Smits. And the Knicks are down by only 3. Despite their poor shooting throughout, although they have picked it up a bit in the second half. They're now 37% for the game. Indiana's dropped off to 39%. Mason with the steal.
Oh, the Knicks really working defensively right now, looking to help each other. Everybody moving as if they're on a string, and the aggressiveness is picking off those balls.
Shot clock at 5. It's down to 2. It's the fire and hits the 3. With the shot clock down to 1, Greg Anthony with a 3-pointer. He has excelled from downtown during the playoffs, and he has tied the game at 67. 8 unanswered points by the Knicks.
Charles Oakley delivering the ball with a little mustard on it as Patrick Ewing with one of his up and under moves as Rick Smits just not able to move his feet. And Greg Anthony just taking a peek at that clock and seeing what he has to do, as it looked like his left foot might have been very, very close to the line, but he knew he had to launch it and heave it, and he got a break.
Indiana has led by as many as 13. The game is tied with 7.5 left.
Face-off against Mullins. He takes it up the boards. Oh, penalty against Johnson.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade with real juice for the taste you'll crave.
Oh, hooking riser to the penalty box. Roughing, tripping. Boy, the penalty box is a popular place tonight.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade, raspberry, cranberry, and original.
There's nobody left to foul.
Paying for quality can be a difficult decision at first. But over time, it gets a lot easier to live with. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. And by Acura, some things are worth the price.
Greg Anthony just getting right behind that line by about an inch as he had to heave this over the outstretched arm of Reggie Miller, forcing the timeout by Indiana as the Knick bench really coming alive as they start to feel something good happening for them today as they got back into it. John Starks greeting Greg Anthony.
For Greg Anthony, his first field goal of the day. Knicks and Pacers tied 67. 7:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Knicks have hit 5 of 7 from the field here in the fourth, so they have picked it up after the earlier poor shooting and the foul call. Now, the public address.
Illegal defense. Automatic technical foul.
Now, the public address announced a foul on Patrick Ewing, and the officials over to say no illegal defense call on Ewing. So Reggie Miller to the line. He's 8 for 10 at the foul line. So Indiana leads by 1.
Charles Oakley is going to be the man here illegal as his man is way out in this area. As he is allowed in that slot but not in the lane, and you see that left foot in the lane as his offensive man is way out above the top of the key.
Pacers in possession, leading by 1. Miller. And off the scramble, Oakley comes away with the ball. Charles Oakley has turned it up in the second half. He now has 15 rebounds. Foul on Workman, pushing foul on Haywood Workman.
And the incredulous look on the part of Haywood Workman's face as putting pressure on Greg Anthony, which is what he did so well in game number 3, which set the tone for the Indiana Pacers. That kind of pressure has not been there in this second half on the part of the Pacers.
Both teams have 2 team fouls. Smits and Ewing battle for position. Here's Davis for 3. Mason with the rebound. Anthony feeds it back to Ewing. Nice ball movement. Davis again. Yes. And that is a 3-pointer for Hubert Davis. And the whole Knicks offensive sequence looks different now. Swinging the ball well, getting it down low. When Ewing sees the double team, he throws it out to the open man. And it has been clicking. Workman forced the pass. And it's picked up by Davis. The Knicks with a 2-point lead. First time they've led since it was 35-34 in the second quarter. The Knicks have outscored the Pacers 11-1. An 11-1 run. Shot clock at 7. Davis around Miller. Here's Davis, rejected by Dale Davis.
Well, good idea there by Hubert Davis to take the ball to the basket with the shot clock winding down, but leaving his feet too early and really nowhere to go with it. And the Knicks get a break with having that ball swatted out of bounds.
3 on the shot clock. Deflected out by Smits. And now 2 remaining on the 24.
You got to look for either Hubert Davis or Anthony coming out high to take another 3-point shot here on this out-of-bounds play.
Anthony for Oakley. Too late. Violation.
Well, nothing Anthony could do there. He just did not come out high enough. And when the shot was challenged on the pass-off, no way they could get the shot off in time.
5.5 remaining, fourth quarter. Indiana without a field goal the last 4 minutes. Knicks lead 70-68. Knicks have total from game 3, that record playoff low of 68 points. The other day was Miller. Reggie Miller has tied the game at 70. 21 for Miller, easily his best performance of this series. They are on their feet here at Market Square Arena. Anthony for 3. Miller with the rebound. Miller had Davis committed, but gets it to Smits. Pacers take a 2-point lead. And the Knicks call for time.
Well, excellent execution by Indiana. All started with Derek McKee curling first, which has enabled Rick Smits to step in and pick off Greg Anthony to get that wide open look for Reggie Miller. Probably the best execution of this second half for Indiana. And now Rick Smits getting wide open because the penetration by Reggie Miller drew the New York defense, leaving Smits wide open.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft, the cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste,
you know, I've been looking for that.
The world is a very cool place. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Today's engines need Castrol GTX, the motor oil that provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your oil breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
How do you get a clean shave from a dirty razor? You don't. That's why the Schick ST has a one-push cleaning bar. Clean razor, clean shave. The ST from Schick. We're changing the face of shaving.
The new Accord EX Coupe. There's more horsepower. Handling and comfort are perfectly balanced. It has dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. We've taken it about as far as you can go. The new Accord EX Coupe from Honda.
Two young lovers on a wilderness retreat.
I got a really bad feeling about these guys.
But this is one vacation
I couldn't have said it better myself.
they may never survive. This Sunday, hold on. The adventure in action begins here. Love on the Run, NBC Sunday.
Well, the Pacers lead by 2. The Knicks with that 11-1 run. The Knicks have had all kinds of problems the last couple of years winning on the road during the playoffs. That has been the pattern throughout the playoffs this year in the NBA. We talked earlier with Pat Riley about the difficulties of winning on the road come playoff time.
As you get to this level, you know, getting a win on the road, you're going to have to grind it out. I mean, you're going to have to get a little bit lucky. You're going to have to make some great plays at the end of the game. You're going to have to get maybe a good whistle somewhere along the way. But, you know, we have to get a road game. I really believe that. And not just for the fact that it might help our confidence, but I think somewhere along the way, you don't want to keep throwing the balls up in the air and thinking you're going to win all your home games. So, you know, today's as good a day as any.
And during the regular season, the Knicks were a good road team at 25 and 16 away from Madison Square Garden. Indiana ball off the steal by Workman. Knicks were able to break up that fast break, but Indiana with 21 on the 24 as McKee gets set to throw it in. Miller with the pull.
Well, Pat Riley has stayed with his point guards defending Miller. It's been Anthony for the last 6 or 7 minutes. It was Harper before that. He feels they are much quicker and able to follow him off those screens. Not that time, however.
Indiana by 4. 4:15 remaining in the fourth. Shot clock at 6. Davis for 3. Antonio Davis on the rebound and a whistle. Foul called. It is a push called on Antonio Davis.
Greg Anthony trying to hang on to Reggie Miller to keep contact and fight over the screens by Dale Davis. But Reggie Miller getting that little pick just enough from Antonio Davis to free him up, and the man guarding Antonio did not step out and trap, which is what the Knicks are supposed to do in that situation, especially when Reggie Miller has the ball.
Eric Hoffer has replaced Greg Anthony. This game did not begin pretty, but it is easily the best game of the series. Good finish here at Market Square. Patrick Ewing with a little spike save.
Well, Larry Brown has gone to a smaller front line, the two Davises and Derek McKee. He feels it's a better defensive lineup, and then they'll try to get Rick Smits in on some offensive sequences.
Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining. And each use their 20. 3:49 to go in the fourth. 9 on the shot clock. Davis followed by Miller. Down to 5 on the 24. Down to 3. Hopper's pass, Manuel Hopper on the recovery. And it's a 24-second violation.
Well, Pat Riley ran down to almost half court to try to let his team know that that shot clock was winding down. It didn't appear that anybody on the floor knew, although Derek Harper did as he tried to put up that hope shot. As Pat Riley shows his disdain for it, and Larry Brown, with his enthusiastic reaction, will now try to get Rick Smits onto the floor for some offense.
The Knicks with a 22nd turnover. Indiana with only 12. At See if the substitution will be allowed. The crowd chanting for Reggie Miller with 23 points. Indiana with 6 consecutive points. Following that 11-1 run by the Knicks. Rick Smits will come in the next dead ball. John Starks will also check in. Shot clock at 6. Miller steps away from the jumper and was fouled by Harper.
Well, Derek Harper did an excellent job of chasing Reggie Miller off that screen. Nobody could get that pick on him, and then leveled him off on his attempted drive to the basket, challenged the shot, but then makes a very bad play here, coming down right on the side of Reggie Miller's shoulder, and an obvious foul on the jump shot. You want to challenge that shot. He did his job. He should have just not hit him on the side.
For the first time this series, Reggie Miller's impact is felt.
And Derek Harper and Reggie Miller continue to join each other, something that started in the closing seconds of the second quarter. And Derek Harper talking to Miller one more time as he goes up for a second free throw.
John Starks ran over to the official and tried to indicate that Miller should have been hit with a technical for taunting because he chased Harper after hitting that first foul shot. 6-point Indiana lead. We come up on 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. Ewing, he was suffocated by Antonio Davis. That's number 3 on Davis. Here's Starks trying to get the attention. Well, he first tried the official on the far side, Hugh Evans, then tried Bennett Salvatore. Trying to get a technical foul called on Reggie Miller because John, who certainly has seen trash talking up close and personal from both ends, felt that there should have been a technical foul called on Miller, who stepped back after he hit that first foul shot to have some words with Harper. Patrick Ewing is 6 of 6 from the line. The Indiana lead is now 5 points. Here's Rick Smits checking back in, replacing Antonio Davis. 5 points for Davis. Smits hurt by foul problems this afternoon, but once again hitting a shot. 7 of 13, 15 points. So the Pacers now lead by 4. Derek Harper, Reggie Miller continuing the chatter with just under 3 minutes to go in the fourth. First time the Knicks have been able to get a rise from Reggie Miller, who was fouled by Harper. So Harper called for his 4th.
And again, they continued to talk as they were coming down to that end of the floor, and Reggie Miller really was working Harper over, getting open and putting up the shot as Harper once again tries to challenge that shot, but clearly catches Reggie Miller on the right hip, and you can't be putting a normal 91% free throw shooter on the line as they're kind of smiling, and who knows what they're saying at this particular point. It was nasty at the end of the first half. This looks like it's a good nature right now, but you don't want to be fooling with this stuff. Who knows what the officials are going to call? You don't want in a close ball game. You don't want to give up an extra free throw with a technical foul for taunting.
Miller is 11 of 13 from the line. His free throw shooting dropping off in the playoffs, but during the regular season, 91%, second in the NBA to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf of the Denver Nuggets. Indiana leads 77-72. Antonio Davis back on the floor. Rick Smits sitting down. The offensive-defensive shuffle of Larry Brown continues.
And Davis has been doing a good job, Antonio, that is, of pushing Ewing off the block. And when you do that, you really don't have to double Patrick Ewing if you can get him 17, 18 feet away from the bucket.
Indiana by 6. 2:35 remaining. Knicks have hit a drought once again. Trying to swing the ball for an open shot. Oakley. Workman out of the pack, leading Miller. And Miller fouled by Hopper. And they have words. Miller immediately kept away by Antonio Davis. And let's see what the call is. It is a personal foul. Number 5 on Hopper. The Pacers calling for a flagrant.
Well, Reggie Miller going in. Derek Harper is actually going to get both hands on this basketball. He hit the top of the head of Reggie Miller, and that's where the foul occurred. But Derek Harper does try to play the ball here, and that's why the officials did not call a flagrant foul.
Reggie Miller spending much time at the line. 13 of 15 from the foul line. And now Hopper and Workman, who had some testy moments in the final game between these two clubs during the regular season, are chatting away. So things have picked up. This was a very quiet series up until today, as the Pacers try to tie the series at 2. Reggie Miller hits the free throw and then stares at Derek Harper. Indiana leads by 7. 2:20 remaining in the 4th. Indiana 80. New York 72. Starks off a double team. We come up on 2 minutes remaining in the 4th. Starks can't find the shot. Now does for 3 and hits. 3-pointer by John Starks. And it cuts it to a 5-point Pacer lead.
And the Knicks have made the defensive switch right now. John Starks back to Miller. Harper on the point guard. Workman.
A minute 45 remaining in the 4th quarter. Now Starks. The hand check of Miller. 3 on the 24. Miller. And it carries out of bounds. The ball goes to the Knicks. But first they take a timeout. Pacers lead by 5. A minute 35 remaining in the 4th.
Are your friends car guys talk horsepower? They talk acceleration. They talk big fat tires. Now why not invite your pals over and give them something to really talk about? Introducing the 4-wheel drive Passport from Honda.
Her inquisitive mind, her desire to learn, her willingness to work, her need to achieve. All the pieces that add up to your need to learn all you can about college funding. So when your child is ready for college, you will be too. Her senior year, Dean's List. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Dear Midas, back in the 70s, I purchased a Midas muffler for my '51 Ford wagon, given to me by my father. When the muffler finally wore out, your mechanic, Miguel Cerna, said,
"Well, the warranty's still good."
To my amazement, I was given a brand new muffler at no cost. I plan on keeping my family heirloom for many years. See you folks next time. Sincerely, James Van Dolphin.
Yesterday in Utah, the Rockets stole one on the road to take a 3-1 series lead. Now as the scene shifts back to Houston in prime time, Hakeem and the Rockets are just 1 win away from a trip to the finals. For the Jazz, time's running out. One more defeat and they'll be singing the blues. Game 5 of the NBA Western Finals, tomorrow night at 9 Eastern on NBC.
Game 4 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference Final Series has come down to the final minutes. The Knicks leading 2 games to 1. The scene shifting to Madison Square Garden. Game 5 Wednesday night. Indiana Pacers with 3 timeouts remaining. New York Knicks with 2. Knicks already over the foul limit. Next foul by the Pacers will be their 5th. Knicks had the lead briefly. They were up 70 to 68 after that good run. However, Indiana able to turn it back around, led by Reggie Miller. And the Pacers lead 80 to 75. Off the double team, Hopper had it knocked away. Starks diving on it, and it will be a jump ball.
Well, Derek Harper lost it, and John Starks diving, and as he got his hands on the ball, he was pleading for a timeout. None of the three officials could see him making that call. Good random Price Harper and knocked that thing loose, and John Starks, you can see him there yelling for somebody to call a timeout. One of the three referees, they could not see his mouth moving.
The jump ball will take place at center court. Indiana very successful. Game 3 on Saturday with showing flashes of the track. We have not seen it much here today.
A good time to do it. They have some other decisions to make defensively in this closing minute and a half on what to do with Patrick Ewing. If they come down and double him, that'll open up those possible three-point shots for John Starks or Derek Harper. I would think if Antonio Davis can push Ewing off the block and play him head up and make him take a jump shot with a hand in his face, the Pacers will be better off with that. I think New York would like to see Indiana double team so they could get a look at a three, and then if a Pacer runs at somebody, drive it to the basket.
Workman and Starks will go on the jump ball. And the Pacers control. Indiana ball. They have a 5-point lead. Down to a minute 20 remaining in the fourth. Shot clock at 8. McKee for Antonio Davis, able to save the pass. Shot clock at 1, and it is a violation.
While the scratching, clawing, scrambling defense of New York kept knocking that ball loose, Antonio Davis did an excellent job of getting to that loose ball, but just could not get that shot up with the 2 seconds on the shot clock. Actually, it flipped out of his hand.
The ball back to the Knicks with a minute 5 remaining. Indiana 80. New York 75. Here's the double team. Now Dale Davis drops back. Oakley with the Starks gets the pick from the other side. Hopper for 3. Rebounded by Mason. 45 seconds to go. Another possession for the Knicks. Ewing off the double team. And it's thrown to the backcourt. It will be Indiana ball.
Well, the Knicks really can't complain. They really got what they wanted. They got the Pacers scrambling on defense, running around, double teaming very aggressively, but it left Harper and Starks open momentarily. It's just horrible passing by New York prevented the Knicks from getting a good shot.
Timeout called by Larry Brown. The Knicks with their 24th turnover. 35 seconds remaining. We'll be right back.
You got the winning color. Make your engine last longer. Change your oil every 3,000 miles and use the newest Pennzoil.
Pennzoil has always stood by me.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings. And play Pennzoil's new scratch and win game. Over 4,000 prizes, including 10 trips for 2 to NASCAR's Brickyard 400 race in 1994 or 95. Pennzoil, the official motor oil for the inaugural running of the Brickyard 400.
Heard from an old student. Remember Brian McKenna? Smart kid.
Good ball player. Great hands.
Where's he going to college? He's not.
Oh, too bad.
Studying aviation electronics.
But you said...
In the Navy, then college.
The Navy College Fund and the Montgomery GI Bill. Up to $30,000 for your college education.
You and the Navy.
Like I said, smart kid.
Full speed ahead.
What do we love about the NBA?
You know, it's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, it's the
That is a man doing his job.
It's the
the men. We love this game. Yeah, love it.
Night Show. Penny Marshall, Danny DeVito, Dennis Hopper, Riddick Bowe, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Zelda Harris, and Rodney Crowell.
Something, I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's pretty interesting. Now, we didn't fix this. It wasn't a plan. It just happened to work out this way. The odds are like 1,000,000 to 1.
Really? Well, watch The Tonight Show all this week.
You can wrap up your Memorial Day weekend with the fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Blossom, followed by the critically acclaimed world premiere movie starring Randy Quaid and Eric Stoltz, Roommates. That's tonight right here on NBC. Both clubs with 2 timeouts remaining. Indiana leads by 5 points, 35 and 9/10 seconds remaining, fourth quarter.
Larry Brown anticipating a foul on the part of the New York Knicks as Derek McKee cannot get that ball in, has put 5 good foul shooters on the floor. Both Davises on the bench.
So Indiana taking the timeout. They are down to 1 timeout left. We'll take a break. Back after a word from your local station.
They may not look it, but they're heroes in a society under siege, doing extraordinary things and making a difference. Why did they do it? Get close, get answers on NBC Nightly News this week.
Cops sexually harassed by other cops.
Did they force you to have sex with them?
If they can't protect themselves, how can they protect you? Now at a special time, Wednesday.
Since its introduction, Lexus has received virtually every accolade in the industry. So we decided to celebrate. Introducing the limited anniversary edition LS and ES, with all the features you could wish for at savings of up to $2,500. Buy or lease them while they last at your Lexus dealer today.
Those boys from Continental Airlines have gone completely off. First, they come around here inquiring about my peanuts, claim they're going to fly people for peanuts. Now they say I can bring the missus with me for just a penny.
Purchase a Continental Peanuts fare round trip, and for a penny more each way, you can bring along a friend. It's called Add a Penny, Add a Pal.
Flying for a penny? Those boys have been spending too much time up in that thin air.
Add a Penny, Add a Pal. Only on Continental.
Let's talk smart. Let's talk Eagle Vision. V6, power windows and locks, air conditioning, and automatic transmission. Let's talk safety. Let's talk lease. We're talking $229 a month. Hey, stop talking and go test drive a new Vision ESI. It's the least we can do for you.
The emotions always showing with John Starks. Looks to be very upset here in these final seconds with the Knicks trailing the Pacers 80-75. Game number 5 of the series back in New York at Madison Square Garden. On Wednesday night, Pacers have lost 11 straight at the Garden, 31 of their last 33. Different story here, though, at home. Indiana has not lost at home since back on the 8th of April. 9-0 since then. They won the last 4 of the regular season, 5-0 in the playoffs at home, but that pass thrown away. Off the steal, here comes Starks, and Starks lays it in. With 30 seconds to go, the Indiana lead is down to 3. McKee fouled by Ewing. The Knicks giving the foul. Both clubs over the limit. Pacers' next foul will put them over. So Derek McKee, who was 1 for 2 from the line, will shoot 2.
Well, after that timeout, Larry Brown changed his inbound passer from the taller Derek McKee to Byron Scott. Byron Scott was running out of time as he threw the ball in below the hip of McKee, who couldn't hand it. The steal and the lay-in by John Starks as the aggressive New York defense just banging all over the pace, but Derek McKee did not go for that ball with 2 hands, and Starks finishes it off.
McKee, a 76% free throw shooter. And Indiana now 21 for 27 from the line. Pat Riley saying no foul, no foul. Did not want to give that foul.
Well, because there was about 30 seconds to go in this fourth quarter, and the Knicks only trailing by 3, just wanted to get the stop defensively.
28 4/10 seconds remaining.
I don't know if that was discussed in that timeout. They were probably going to commit the foul on the first inbound pass and didn't discuss the other option. How about this?
And McKee missing on both. Rebounded by the Knicks, and they take a timeout with 26 and 5/10 seconds remaining. In the fourth quarter, they are 3 points away from tying the game. Knicks 6 of 18 from downtown. Starks has hit 2 out of 3 from three-point land. Well, tomorrow night, NBA playoffs will go prime time. Utah and Houston in game number 5. Yesterday, Kenny Smith leading the Rockets 25 points. Win would advance Houston to the finals for the first time since 1986. Utah and Houston tomorrow night, and then the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time for both stars.
Well, now you have the situation where the Knicks trailing by 3, 26.5 seconds to go. If you come out and launch a quick three-pointer and miss that, you've got to commit the foul. All good foul shooters on the floor. However, Derek McKee just had 2 go in and out on him, and I'm sure they try to get the ball into the hands of thing I think to do is go inside to Patrick Ewing to see if he can't get a play going to the basket, and then if he gets double teamed, throw it out for the possible 3. But Ewing going to the basket is the best bet, and then commit the fouls. You see who the foul shooters are today. 6 for, I think it was 18, I'm sorry, 6 for 18 on three-point shots. Of course, John Starks has looked more and more comfortable from beyond the arc. Derek Harper can shoot it, and we'll see if Pat Riley puts another three-point shooter, either Greg Anthony or Ford, just to set that up. But best thing for New York to do is go inside to Patrick Ewing first and see how he's defended. But what New York has been doing is passing the ball terribly out of those double teams. They've had people wide open, in rhythm, and just throwing the ball over their head.
Also a correction. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air will start at 8 p.m. Eastern time, not 7. For those of you making your evening plans, I know we'll adjust it accordingly. 26 and 5/10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. 80 and the Knicks 77. Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason on the floor, along with the 3 guards, John Starks, Hubert Davis, and Derek Harper. Dale Davis will guard the inbounds. And the delay of game taken by Dale Davis, stepping in as Larry Brown checks out the alignment. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining.
And just told his team switch on any cross between any Knick players. He just wanted to get a look at what's coming up, and there's the switch.
3-point Indiana lead. Starks double team. Down to 15 seconds. Down to 7 on the shot clock. They can't find a 3. Davis took his eye off the pass momentarily, and it cost. The Knicks turn it over. Indiana ball, 6 and 8/10 seconds to go.
Well, the Knicks never got into anything, any kind of execution, just the Pacers running at everybody, forcing everybody to put the ball on the floor. And then, you're right, Hubert Davis just did take his eye off it. The Knicks have to foul now.
25th turnover by the Knicks in what has been a very sloppy game. Here's another look at it. A hard pass thrown, and Hubert took his eye off it. Workman is fouled by Hopper. 5 and 2/10 seconds remaining. Hayward Workman will go to the line for the first time. Derek Hopper has fouled out. Workman is an 80% free throw shooter, but moments ago, Derek McKee, who is a dependable free throw shooter, missed 2.
Hubert Davis, that pass was from about 10, 12 feet away as Patrick Ewing puts a lot of steam on this thing, and he whipped it. And this has been happening to the Knicks all afternoon, and it has cost them dearly. They've out-rebounded Indiana, have not done a lot with the offensive rebounds that they've gotten. They've gotten 15, only 7 points, but have kicked the ball over a lot, but continue to get break after break as the Pacers have not made free throws.
Another clutch free throw missed by Indiana. 5 2/10 seconds remaining. Knicks do have 1 timeout left. And Workman hits 1 of 2 for a 4-point lead. Timeout called by the Knicks. All right, Matt, you've been in this situation on a number of occasions. Your team is down by 4, 5 2/10 seconds to go. How do you play it?
Well, you just go in and throw up the old 4-point play.
Yeah.
In which you set up behind the 3-point line, fake up, try to get somebody running at you, and jump into the defensive player and launch the ball. And Marv, you'd be surprised at how many times that defender will run at the offensive guy to try to distract the shot in an attempt to run by. But the offensive player, if he's clever enough and either throws the leg out or moves his body over, might get a hit. However, I'm sure Larry Brown is talking to his team right now about that. And just stand straight up, switch on everything. If the New York Knicks score, whether it be a 3 or 2, take a timeout.
Well, coincidentally, as I look at official Hugh Hollins on the court, situation in Game 5 of the Knicks-Chicago series, where Scottie Pippen did make a movement toward Hubert Davis, and the foul was called. Davis went to the line, hit the 2, and the Knicks won the ball game. So you can get fouls.
Well, crazy things can happen with 5 seconds to go, but I don't anticipate the Indiana Pacers making a mistake. But watching that game yesterday between the Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz, when there were just so many bizarre plays coming down the stretch, you just don't know what's going to happen out there. And again, you don't want to give the referees any kind of inkling that it could make a call. So it's just a matter for Indiana standing straight up and not moving on whatever shot that the Knicks put up right now. And if there is any kind of score, I'm sure Larry Brown would say, take a quick timeout.
And here are the Knicks in a similar situation to a year ago, although in that instance they were facing Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. They won the first 2 and then lost the next 4. They won the first 2 in this series, and if they lose here today, they will have lost 2 straight at Market Square as they head back to the Garden for Wednesday night. And no matter what happens here in the final seconds, Pat Riley has to be saying, where am I going to get some offense? Because for the second consecutive game, it has been a very poor performance by the Knicks. Only 77 points as a follow-up to the 68. That pass thrown away. Another Knick turnover. 26 turnovers. And Reggie Miller is hit on that inbounds with 1 8/10 seconds to go.
And also Pat Riley has to be thinking, hey, we are playing good defense against a tough team on their home floor. Only give up 81 points, but we can't get that defense to turn into some easy baskets. It looked like the Knicks came out ready to run today. They got some quick fast break opportunities, but seemed to rush all of their shots. It looked like the game was getting away from them in the 3rd period as Reggie Miller got hot, but the Knicks battled back and certainly had their chances to stay very close coming down the stretch.
Reggie Miller now 16 of 18 from the line and a 30-point game. Derek Harper is fouled out. That foul by Patrick Ewing a moment ago, his 5th. Ewing leading the Knicks with 25. Assistant coach Bill Blair and Larry Brown certainly enjoying the moment. Pacers by 6, and they have tied the series at 2. This capacity crowd responding to the efforts of the Indiana Pacers. Reggie Miller with 31, 13 of the 31 of the 4th. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Mark. Reggie, what a change in attitude and intensity in this team in the last couple of games. Well, we felt we gave 2 games away in New York. We weren't playing with the same intensity that got us to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was really a gut check for us. We just wanted to come out and play hard, and we knew the things that we weren't doing in games 1 and 2, and I think we're doing them in the last 2 games.
You guys had a team meeting on Friday, turned everything around.
Well, we knew we had to get to Patrick. Patrick is the key to their team. The hustle points, the hustle loose balls, everything we had to do, and I think we did that in games 3 and 4.
A lot of people talked about the offense, but the defensive effort today was really there. They rated 25 turnovers.
That's what got us here, was defense, and they don't want to give us credit for our defense, but if we can continue to play like this, anything can happen in this series.
Well, there's signs in your locker room saying we got to believe. Do you guys believe you can go back to New York and take one?
Well, for us to win the series, that's what we have to do. We were close in games 1 and 2, but we've got to get over the hump. It's going to be tough there, but it's a new series now.
All right, great game today, Reggie. Good luck to you next week.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad, yes, Reggie Miller, 31 points. Big fourth quarter finish for the 83-77 victory. We now have Indiana coach Larry Brown with us. Larry, we were talking prior to the game about the fact that it has been such a quiet series for Reggie Miller, and you said you were concerned you'd rather see him talk it up, both on and off the court. We saw some taunting involved here today.
Well, I don't know if it was taunting, but he got 31 points, so obviously something more. I think the key is he's got to look to take his shots, and he really came out aggressive and looked to take shots. Some of them, you know, you say no, good shot, but the fact that he was aggressive, if you call it taunting, I call it chit-chat.
Chit-chat,
right.
Okay. Friendly chit-chat.
I would hope so, because I think those two guys have great respect for each other.
Larry, the confidence level obviously very low when you were down 0-2. It's certainly on a different level right now. What do you have to do to go into New York and steal a game?
Well, I wouldn't call it stealing, but we got to build on the fact that we had a big lead. They came back, and then in their fourth quarter, we came back and got control again. And I think that's a big factor. We could have given up. I think the Knicks could have given up, but the key was we didn't. So we got to build on the fact that we won in the fourth quarter in crunch time.
Larry, congratulations on the victory.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Larry Brown, head man of the Indiana Pacers. His club has tied the series at 2 with the 83-77 victory over the New York Knicks. Patrick Ewing able to bounce back from the 0 for 10 the other day. 25 points for Patrick Ewing, but Reggie Miller providing the spark for the Pacers. 31 points for Miller, 17 of 19 from the line. For Matt Gukas and Ahmad Rashad, I'm Marv Albert. Again, that final score, the Indiana Pacers 83 and the New York Knicks 77. The Pacers invincible play at home. The Knicks continue to have big problems on the road. So long from Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. This has been the NBA on